She's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. You're checking 12, we'll check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 start, take your shots.
Step out with this.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It's Wednesday morning. Hopping on here for a little bit, doing the daytime true crime. Thank you for hopping in. Whew, what a day yesterday. Thank you all for your patience. Oh, man. I didn't end up getting to sleep until like 4 something the night before. Just trying to get everything done. It's like trying to pack up a house and all that good stuff for in a few days. It's always fun. It's always chaotic. It's always enjoyable. But it's finally done. The fire restoration crew people came yesterday. They were here for pretty much most of the day. And so it's all done. So that, hopefully, I don't know. I still don't feel like the setup is like, I don't know, something feels off. But I'm not completely out of the woodwork yet. I have quite a bit of stuff to do today after yesterday. And I finally sat down because I was helping out as well. Sat down, ate something. I was like, whoo. I only had like an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep. And then, after I ate a bunch of food, then all of a sudden, right in the chair. So I did a little bit of stuff last night and late last night. And I still got a bunch more to do. So I'll be doing that as soon as this show's over, but I'm so glad to be able to finally be on during the day. I don't have to wonder if I'm going to be able to be on during the day or not. Last minute BS, all this other, it's done. Oh, it feels so good. I feel like I can finally breathe. So now we can schedule stuff again. It's great. It's great. Oh, it's been forever too. It's been over a month. Yeah, it's been about a month and a half. We haven't had maybe three day shows in a month and a half, something like that. Ain't very much. We are back every morning. What's up to do now? Trina Miller, ticket number 3. What's up, Nina? Lucky number 7, Kelly. Thank you. Jacqueline. Christina Rain. Ticket 10 with all them roses. What's up, Jared? Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to be doing daytime true crime. It's been a few days since I've really been on. I know there's a lot of other stuff. I got some special Idaho 4 shows coming up. There's 3 of them that we're going to be doing. And by the way, I want to say shout out to Judgmental, I believe it was, on Twitter. We watched the first episode of the Cyber Sleuths documentary, and then there's 2 of them that were posted. We did have a private watch party over on Discord where we watched all 3 of them. I think it was, I don't remember what night it was. Maybe it was Saturday night, maybe. We watched all of them. So we'll be showing those coming up, but it ain't gonna be the next show. We got a couple interesting shows coming up. We're gonna be covering a bunch of stuff with that. Plus, there's some stuff. There's some other cases out there that have been coming out lately too, and that's why I'm doing the daytime true crime today. We're gonna cover some of that. We're gonna cover some of this. We're gonna be there for breaking news, and who knows, we might even get a car chase or something, right? What's up, Caddy? Ticket 13. Mark and Betty, ticket 12. Kid Kitty, ticket 14. Thank you. What's up, K Miller? Golden ticket number 2. Thank you. Typically unique, ticket 15. Going to the doctor. Prayers. Fingers crossed and good luck. Deb Ray, ticket number 17. Happy Valentine's Day to you. You too, Diana. Thank you very much. Got a couple Valentine's Day videos too. How it started, and Valentine's for singles if you're a single out there. It's supposed to give you, I don't know, some tips or ideas or something. I don't know. We'll check it out. Always crazy shit. Yes. I apologize for being a couple minutes late. I'm like, where in the hell is my glasses? You know how like when you go to pack up, I don't know why I would have like put them in a box. I don't have any idea. I hate wearing them. I only wear them if I'm doing the show because then I gotta read shit. But other than that, I ain't wearing my glasses. So I don't know. I'm like getting ready. I'm like, where's my glasses? Where are my glasses? Couldn't find them, and then I did. So thank you. Moonlight. Good morning, sweet surrender. How are you? These sinuses, I don't know what's up. It's weird. It's like wintertime, but I've had sinus issues the whole time. It doesn't make sense. Good day to you too, Commercial Zone. I'm working on trying to figure out the phone thing, screen share thing. We tested it out at the lounge during the Super Bowl before we got shut down. And I don't know. I got to figure out it because I like had to hold it up to the microphone like this. I couldn't just set it here. So I'm going to go out after the show today. I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to see if there's like some kind of like mini speaker or something that I can plug into it, and then I can attach it to the microphone so I can have my hands free, because it was weird trying to do that, but I'm still trying to figure it out. Still trying. What's up, Sudi? Ticket 21. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ticket 24, Moonlight, and 25, Sweet Surrender. I love the basketball. I wish I could go shoot some hoops right now. Skittles or play golf. Oh my gosh, I'd love to play golf right now. Ticket 26, Skittles. Oh, I would love to play golf right now. Be out on that golf course smelling the fresh air, the nature. Hear those birds chirping. Yes, peaceful. What's up, Summer? Ticket 28. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Good morning, Memory. How are you? Nevada. Oh, thank you. It drove me nuts. It was like, man. I was like, geez, what are they? I guess I talked to him yesterday. These sinuses, I'm telling you. I talked to him yesterday, and they said they gutted the whole place except for one room. They had to gut it to the studs completely. What's up, AG? Good morning to you. Sorry about getting back to you so late on Discord there. WC Mom Kim's license. What does she look like? Yes, she does. I don't understand. Why are people... Okay, maybe pictures that they were shown about the fake Kim, but when Kim was on, I already said that she was on, the first time she was on camera, it was on our show. she was at the lake, and it was during one of our. It's on members only, maybe. I should be. If not, I'll have to look. But she popped on camera on our show, and then I put him down to private. But then once she came out on Paramount, and I heard she was coming out on Paramount, that's when I went ahead and put out my video of when she accidentally went on camera. She was sitting by the lake. She had her hair kind of pulled back. It looked, when I saw Kim on the Cyber Sleuths documentary, that looked like the Kim that I saw when she was on my show. So I don't know. Maybe it's maybe the information or something. I don't know. But on my show, I saw her. I was like, yeah, that's Kim. She looks nice. Because before, when I saw her, her hair was kind of a little bit of a mess. Remember? If you were there for the show, her hair was a little messy because she was out and it was a little windy. And she was sitting outside by the lake, and she had her hair kind of like back, and it was a little messy. And she's like, "Oh, I don't want to makeup, this and that." I'm like, "Don't worry about it." She looked the same to me. I don't know why people think she's not. It's Kim. What do you mean? Come on. Ticket 33 or 34. Thank you, Nevada. That's why when we watched that private watch, we had that private watch party on Discord for the other 2 episodes. And they were like, yeah, this is the first time she's on camera. I was like, yeah. I went out yesterday. I was going on an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep. After the people were done and I was done, I didn't feel like doing shit right away, except for going to fly my drone, right? So I was like, you know what? It's nice out. The wind level, it's 7, 8. It's not too bad, whatever. I was like, I need to get out there, right? And so I went out there yesterday, and I was literally out there for 45 minutes. I mean, I had set up my landing pad and put on my attachments for the drone, the protections and stuff, the landing gear and the blade protectors and all that little extra stuff for it, and got it all set up. And for 45 minutes, I kept trying to get it to connect to my phone, because you have to connect it through a Bluetooth. Otherwise, I'm not flying that thing blind. You're out of your damn mind. I want my phone so I can see where I'm going. I'm not flying that thing blind. I ain't that good. I couldn't get it to connect to my phone, and then I was like, screw this. So and it started to get chilly, and it was like 5 something, 6 something at that point, 5:30. It was getting chilly at that point, so I went ahead and closed it all down. And then I get home and I look at my phone and I was like, duh, I'm supposed to shut the mobile data off. So I was like, dang it, I know this, man. It's like the first step, because you have your little pre-flight checklist. It's like the first step on the damn thing, and I'm just, because I'm like tired as shit and loopy, I'm just like, ask who needs the checklist. Who needs the checklist? Let's just fly this damn thing. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, obviously not. So yeah, so we're gonna try some more today after the show. I have a few things I gotta finish around here. I definitely gotta finish the studio. But I'm going to go try and fly my drone again after the show before I come back and finish up the studio, because it's supposed to be pretty decent. And then, later on it gets a little chillier, so whatever. I'm gonna go out there. Nobody's out there. It's gonna be, empty place. Get my practice on. What's up, Randy Pauls? Ticket 37. I didn't realize that there ended up being 3 different WSU moms. Oh, really? I didn't know that there. Who's the other ones? I've just heard and talked to Kim. That's it. And I mean, there's always going to be truths and lies. I don't know. It was great. It was great rewatching the first time she was on our show, because it just I just love her personality regardless. I just love her personality regardless. Yvette, ticket 38, thank you. Kim, Paula, and Michelle. Really? I didn't hear. Send me something. I didn't hear. I haven't heard of the other ones. What's up, Caddy? Oh, hold on a second. Contribution call out. Yeah, I haven't heard of the other ones. Where are they, on YouTube, or where did they go? Contribution call out. Skittles with the New Zealand $2 super sticker. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support for the show and the community. And thank you for everything that you do, Skittles. What drone did I get? I got the Holy Stone. It's like it's supposed to be the best budget drone. I mean, it's pretty badass. Here, I'll drop the link in chat. And then you get the little propeller guards, the landing gear. They're like $10 a piece. The landing pad is like $10. What is it? Holy Stone HS 720E. So here, this is what it is right here. Let me see here. Okay, so Holy Stone. Now, it was on sale. But now it's, I guess it's 25% off. It was like 30 or 40 when I got it. But here's the link. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do the switcheroo, and then I'll show you guys real quick what it looks like. Give me 1 second. All right, this is what it looks like right here. Let me slide over here for a second. So that's what it looks like right there. And then I got like so that's where you put your phone. And then there's like little guards that go around your blades. It's compact and it all fits in that case. So that's why I went ahead and got the attachments, because I can have the attachments taken off and still put it in a case. I just have a little separate case that holds the attachments and stuff and to go with. So but yeah, it's you got to make sure you don't have your mobile network on. Did the people interviewed on Paramount get paid? Probably. I'm sure. Man, have you guys seen the hate on the comments? Oh my gosh. There's gonna be more. I mean, it was open-ended. Oh, you got 2 of them. Nice. Yeah, what do you think? I think they're pretty. I mean, honestly, I was like, wow, this is pretty. As soon as you take it out of the box, it's like, damn, that's pretty decent quality. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I'd never heard of them. Yeah, so I'll be taking that out some more. I have a little bit of something that I recorded. You got to make sure though you stop your recording before you shut your drone off, because it'll corrupt your video file. You just got to make sure for that. All right, I'm going to share a couple things with you guys here real quick. I think it was Judgmental. This was crazy. At first, didn't even know if it was real because it's like, what is this lady doing? Like, what is she, you're taking a kid towards an accident? At first, I thought it was fake, but then it was like, wait, no, this is real. Are you okay?
Keep going. We need to go way away. Way away.
Okay. Jeez, and then she screamed, what the hell? Who the hell is that lady, man? You take the kid to the up to the fire, then you go then there's another kid sitting there. There's nobody sitting. Okay, so the kids with the mom or the dad or something, and then they set the kid down, and she just starts. My gosh. So this car just came right through the front, and it just slammed, and them wheels just kept turning and turning and turning and turning. What the hell? This is what it looked like too. Oh, what the hell? This is what it looked like. Where's the pictures? Where's the pictures? Where'd the hell? What the hell? They took the pictures away? Because I retweeted it. Oh, wow. Okay. Alrighty. That's weird. All right. So I'm going to share this with you. Here's my Twitter if you want to follow me on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. There's more video about what it looks after they got the fire put out on the car and everything. Crazy stuff. Here's the link. You can always go off the tweets or the retweets. Here's the links themselves. So I'm going to share all three of them. There's going to be episode 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to share the links with you guys. So shout out AG. This is episode 1. And then Judgmental put up episode 2 and 3. So I'll share those with you guys so you have them. And we'll be going into these in an episode coming up here. We'll end up watching all three of them, one right after another. There's that one. And then here's the third one. So shout out AG and Judgmental. There's that link. Looks like there were TikTok. Oh, that's probably why, because I'm not on TikTok. TikTok. Where CJ is, but he's not. That's TikTok. I'm not there, but I am. I'm always getting shit sent from other people. That's your voice. They put something over it, but that's your voice. Listen. Oh shit, that is my voice. Oh wow, cool. Nice. Or then they put somebody else's voice on my face. People are crazy. All right. Where's the other something's going on. Something's going on with this. I had 2 things for you guys, and now I only have 1. Valentine's Day for singles.
Okay, it is dubbed the most romantic day of the year, and nearly half of single Americans are swiping to find love. A Forbes Health One poll study survey says that 35% of lovers turn to apps to meet someone to date. And
I mean, if you feel you need to, but in today's day and age, good luck. Because, man, today's day and age with all the true crime we talk, yikes. What's up, detective? I mean, yikes. Can't imagine.
And of those, nearly 70% said it led to a romantic, exclusive relationship. Global dating coach Damona Hoffman met
the... Really? 70%? My ass. 70%. Shit. For one night? Come on, man.
Global dating coach Damona Hoffman met the love of her life 20 years ago on an online dating app, a site, I should say, and she uses her personal experience and insight to help singles through her new book, the title of which is F the Fairy Tale, Rewrite the Dating Myths and Live Your Own Love Story.
Yeah.
So we're glad to welcome her onto the show. Damona, it's so good to have you on Valentine's Day. We had a lot of viewers write in to get your expertise. But first, how did you become a dating coach in the first place? I want your origin story.
Well, originally, I actually worked as a casting director in television, and I would teach actors how to stand out through their headshots. And I was online dating at the time, and I saw the similarity between a headshot and a dating profile photo. And we all know a first date is an audition. So once I applied what I learned professionally to my own online dating experience, I ended up meeting my husband. And as you said, we've been together 20 years. And since that time, I started writing dating profiles and became certified as a dating coach to help people through the entire process of finding love.
Wow. Well, congrats on all your success and a happy Valentine's Day to you and your husband. Okay, I want to get straight to it because I had so many people.
Why do you have to be coached on how to find love? Isn't that manufactured then? Because if you're doing something, saying something differently than who you really are, well then, isn't it manufactured? Isn't it fake? Isn't it cement that's brittle? Because it's not real. How do you get coached to find love? Some people. Trust me, Kay Miller, outside of the show, I'm probably one of the shyest fucking people you'll meet. Hey, just saying. Outside of the show, like people, I've had conversations in the background with other content creators, you know, if they're nervous or something, I'm like, look, when I go to somebody else's show, I'm nervous as shit like it's the first time I've ever been on camera. If I'm out in public, I'm the dude that's no, I'm not. It's not that I'm responding necessarily, detective. I'm just speaking. Oh, never mind.
people write in with their questions for you, Damona. I want to start here. Margaret wants to know this. How are you supposed to prioritize dating while also balancing a demanding career?
I'm talking about me, not whoever.
It is tricky. And I say in F the Fairy Tale that you really need to look at dating as a set of learned skills and a process that you need to have a plan for. It becomes much more manageable if you ditch the list myth and you get really clear on what you're looking for and put some boundaries around the time you're going to spend. Because when you're on an app, it can become very overwhelming, the endless swipe. But if you know you only have a certain amount of time to swipe and you have a very specific dating goal in mind, then you can make the time to be able to focus on that.
Yeah, it's all about time management. It's a full-time job, to have work during the week and then put yourself in the places where you want to date and find someone eligible on the weekend. It's a lot for folks. Aaron writes this. Help me understand why I feel so strongly about not using dating apps. I'm not into casual dating.
That is because we are so tied to stories, whether it's the story that this isn't how I'm going to meet my partner. I hear that a lot on my Dates and Mates podcast. I have a lot of stories in my book about that, or whether it's because you just aren't familiar or comfortable with the technology, or just that you think apps are for hookups. And from the stats you showed at the beginning, people are finding relationships online.
What the hell, StreamYard?
And we have to up-level our skills to be able to embrace it and use it effectively.
Sorry, StreamYard was going crazy there for a freaking minute, playing all sorts of different shit. Yeah, do background checks. For real. For real. Aw, that's awesome. No, I was just gonna give you a little insight about what it's like for me outside of the show, but that's all right. We'll just change that subject. All right, let me see here. All right, we're gonna get into what's going around today. Now, let's see, what do we got here? Did you guys hear this? This came across last night. The University of Idaho got a $1.8 million award from NASA, you guys.
Physicists at the University of Idaho are getting nearly $2 million in grant money to study black holes merging in deep space. The NASA grant money will help these scientists better understand how black holes collide, which can lead to really incredible discoveries in space. The team at U of I wants to use computer models that use Einstein's theory of gravity, as well as how magnetic fields and gas interact near these black holes. The hope is that they can predict light signals that can be seen by NASA telescopes. What they find from these signals could help experts understand how galaxies like ours evolve over time.
What the hell is this? The University of Idaho gets $1.8 million NASA award? What the hell's going on? What the hell? Since when did they have this space I didn't know this about University of Idaho. Space program. That says F the Fairy Tale. If it happens, it happens, you know? I mean, oh no, it's weird though. It's like different. I'm shy, but at the same time, I don't care either. Like, I'll sit there and talk just like I talk right now. It all depends on who and where, I suppose. Because I would go get my friends' girlfriends and shit, because they were too shy. But then, I don't know. I'd like, if I'm at a party or something, I'm the dude that's just chilling, studying everybody. I don't know. Probably because of how I grew up. Always had to watch over my back every fucking, everywhere you went, you always had to fucking have your eyes in the back of your head. So I always studied people. Scan the room. Andrew Myers is my kryptonite. What is that? What does that mean? What does that mean? When they did the 43E nonprofit, it opened up a list. Oh, that's what it is. Wow. Oh my gosh. There's no connection between the University of Idaho and the University of Phoenix online. It doesn't look like outer space. Well, it's supposed to be like what do they call it? UV. It's like because the human eye can only see like a spectrum of like this much, and there's like all sorts of different, so this is like UVs or something, and I think what it's meant to be is to show where the gravity, these are black holes, and the study is what happens if black holes end up colliding. Now, I don't know why it fucking matters right now. It really don't matter right now. I mean, okay, if there's two black holes colliding, people, what are we going to do to stop it? What are we going to do? Don't collide. No, that's not going to work. What are we going to do? Shoot a rocket into space? No. Nothing's so why does it fucking matter what happens when two black holes collide? Because, I mean, there's no way we can stop it. So what are we going to do? Fly out of the fucking path of it? Okay, how do we, come on. It's just $1.8 million to do some fun shit on a computer, because they're just going to be coming up with models and diagrams, kind of like what Jordan Willis did for HIV. Kind of like that. I'm shy when he's on? No. Not at all. I'm never shy on my show. Nope. Never. All right, let's see here. What else? Now, that was just for Valentine's Day. Now here, there's a sketch now for this Rachel Morin's case. There's an Arkansas man. U.S. Marshals revive search for most wanted man in Arkansas. We're going to check that out and a couple other things. 20 years, Maura Murray went missing. More on the Florida women. There's somebody that's missing in Europe now. Has been missing for 11 days, going on 12. There's a lot of different things going out there. Here's the first.
Is the mother of Rachel Morin, Patty, say they've confirmed the suspect was in the Maryland area a few days before the murder. That's a new detail. And they hope that this sketch will help witnesses identify him. The reward for any information leading to the arrest of her killer is now $35,000.
So what did they just... This is... Because this has been... Okay, 6 months after it's being released. What's up, Pixie? Ticket 51. Why did they not release this right away? Why did they not release this right away? Probably not documented, AG. That's probably why. I mean, if you have the DNA and you got pics like this, you got video, you know what I'm saying? You got video, you got a picture. Why didn't you release this right away? I bet you would have caught the dude quick as shit. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? I guarantee you. I guarantee you, you would have. I mean, come on. You see the Jordan hat? That's pretty damn fucking descriptive right there. You're gonna come on. And you know he's gonna be wearing a hat because he's not trying to walk around all open faced like that. So you know he's gonna be wearing a hat around. I don't know why you wouldn't have released this right away. You probably would have caught him quick as shit. Good luck now. He's probably fucking long gone out, you know. As much as they can come in, they can fucking go too, and nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? As much as they can come in and nobody knows, they can go out too. Freedom, right?
Joining me now is the mother of Rachel Moren, Patty. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. So I presume
they didn't have a sketch. Well, how in the hell did they get one, man? Because wasn't the only one that, you know, she passed? Coloring Pokemon. Interesting. How'd they not have a sketch? Where'd they get the... It took him 6 months? Crazy.
all of this must continue to be incredibly maddening for you, but how do you feel about this new development?
I don't even know anything about it. I've seen it come across the news feed, you know, the last 6 months or so. I've been seeing, I know my chat keeps freezing too. It's fucking YouTube, man. It's been like this for like a week. I don't understand why YouTube isn't the most fucking issue-free fucking web. It just doesn't make sense to me. You make a killing, YouTube. What the fuck? Why is there constant issues all the damn time? My chat's been freezing too, especially the last couple weeks. It's been happening a lot. I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't know too much about this. I just seen other people doing shows, but I haven't even really watched up on any of it. I know that. So is the video that he's walking out? Is that the actual house, or is that from something else that he did too? The California family he attacked? Whoa, hold on. Okay, so is that the video that he's walking out the door? It looked like somebody shut. To me, it looked like when I saw the video, I was like, oh, that looks like a booty call. You know what I mean? You're coming over. You're done. You're walking out the door. You can see a hand shut the door. So what? All right, I'm confused now. So he attacked a family before that? You know what I'm saying, Christina? I don't understand it. The video is from California. Oh, so... Whoa! And then, hold on. So this is in Maine? Wait a minute. What? Is this in Maine? So the dude went from California to Maine?
Into the arrest of her killer is now $35,000. Joining me now is the mother of Rachel Moren, Patty.
Hartford
Thank you
County.
so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. So I presume all of this must continue to be incredibly maddening
52.
for you, but how do you feel about this new development?
I'm actually happy that we finally have a sketch and we have a face that we can look for. Having just the back of somebody's head unless you're a mother and you know your child, or it's your best friend or your husband, it's hard to know who that person is. So having a sketch of the person's face, I just feel
so
like
they
the
got
whole
that.
world's going to be looking for this man.
I certainly hope so. Have the authorities been in regular contact with you? I mean, for example, I'm sure you had the same question that I just asked, right? Which is, why did it take so long? Why did it take 6 months? Had they been in regular contact with you, explaining to you every process along the way?
No, they haven't. I've reached, well, I should back that up. We have been in contact, but they've kept a lot of details to themselves. And it's been very frustrating not having details and being kept up to speed on things. But I think it's because they wanted to protect the integrity of the case, because they weren't sure, I'm assuming, if anybody would know this person, if it was a family friend or, or just somebody. And maybe possibly giving that person a heads up. I don't know. But or maybe they weren't confident.
I apologize for interrupting you. I was just going to say that I'm surprised that they haven't expressed that to you, right? They haven't said to you, look, here's the reason we're trying to be really careful. Here's the reason we don't want to share too much. It's for exactly the reason you said. We're trying to protect the integrity of the investigation. Had they not communicated that to you?
They have communicated, and I really very much appreciate all the work that they're doing, like truly. And so this is not a negative thing. This is just me as a mother voicing frustration that information has been very slow and very small. And I don't know if it's because the process is taking so long and finding the leads and putting things together has taken this time, and that they really didn't have anything to say. I don't know. I don't know. And I have never experienced a murder before. And I don't know what I'm supposed to expect from a crime like this or from law enforcement.
Yeah. Look, I can tell you as someone who has covered, sadly, a lot of these heartbreaking cases, this one is a little different. The fact that they had the DNA and they had this video so early in the investigation, I presumed they would have found this guy months ago. So I can completely understand why, from your perspective, in the first, experience with this, that you're thinking to yourself, how could this not have been solved already? How can I not have been allowed to move on and move forward with some sort of resolution here? I completely understand that.
Yeah, it seems to me that they're kind of working backwards, because usually you have a face, but you might not have a name, and you need to go out and collect the evidence in order to prove, well, this is the person. Here they have all the proof, they just didn't have the identity of the person. And so I'm hoping with this sketch that somebody will recognize them and turn them in. I'm hoping.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find news.
I don't know. How are you going to find the dude now? I mean, why did it take so long to get a sketch? That's what I'm wondering. Why did it take so long for a damn sketch? How long? 6 months, Sudi. That's what I mean. Like, why does it take so long? Even if it was from the California family. I mean, why did it take so long to get a sketch? What's up, SM? Thank you for hopping in. He attacked several people of the same family. He did not enter that home the same way he left on the camera. The family provided the sketch. So they waited to do the sketch? What the? Can anybody send me some information on the California? Excuse me. Happy Valentine's Day, Collateral, and everybody else. Thank you for hopping in. See, I'm so confused right now. AG, can you send me something on Twitter if you're available? With this California stuff. I'm gonna let's see. This is her brother, and we're gonna play this one real quick.
Rachel's family has tried everything to identify this killer. They have delivered more than 10,000 flyers door to door in LA, and they printed them in both Spanish and English, just hoping for any kind of small clue. The authorities have interviewed more than 100 people. They've dug through 1,000 tips, and still there is no one in custody. Joining me now exclusively is Rachel Morin's brother, Michael Morin. Michael, thank you for being on tonight. Again, I can't tell you how sorry I am to know what you and your family are going through, and I can't even know the half of it. But this has to feel good that at least there's a sketch that's out there publicly. I am personally troubled. It's taken 6 months.
Right.
I would love to know what your family thinks about that.
Right. 6 months.
Yeah, I mean,
what's up, American
I think
Princess?
there's a reason behind releasing the sketch, like the sheriff has said. Making sure it looks, very similar to the guy. 6 months is a long.
What does it have to do? What does it have to do with the sea? The CRTL? Is that what it had? What the hell? It can't be if he went from one to the other side of the frickin' country. By yourself? But back in California, was it? Is that why they took? I don't understand. Something. It's just something weird.
And a lot of people, they say time
Something's
heals.
weird.
But in this wound, you're not having, him captured. It's like bacteria, and it's been festering. So it's compounded the grief for our family.
And speaking of that, I can only imagine that at least the police are, keeping regular contact with you. I would hope that that's what's happening. What is the latest that you know? Do you know more than we know? And
heals, but in this wound, you're not having, him captured. It's like bacteria, and it's been festering. So it's compounded the grief for our family.
And speaking of that, I can only imagine that at least
I can't be on that Chinese shit, bro. Sorry, man. I can't.
Police are.
I don't even update
keeping
that
regular
shit.
contact with you. I would hope that that's what's happening. What is the latest that you know? Do you know more than we know? And are you in regular contact with the investigators?
Yeah. I haven't been in as much contact as I was initially. I knew a lot of the information that came out in the sheriff's podcast. I didn't know about the hat. That was new information for us.
The hat.
So, but we, there is some information that we have that a lot of other people do not have. Speaking to, witnesses and other people. So,
is that information you can share with me tonight?
No. Unfortunately.
This is something that you shared with the police, though?
Yeah, I mean, the police are, aware of this information.
What? Hold on a minute. What the fuck? What just happened here?
Other people. So.
Hold on.
So, but we, there is some information.
He looked over to the left here.
I didn't know about the hat. That was new information for us.
So he's at home.
So but we, there is some information that we have that a lot of other people do not have. Speaking to, witnesses and other people. So.
Dude, you just said you have. Okay, what? He left his hat at the residence. That's where they got the DNA from. The Jordan hat? So he just said that they have evidence from witnesses that nobody knows about. Why would you say that? Why would you even announce that?
Information that we have that a lot of other people do not have. Speaking to, witnesses and other people. So
he's probably nervous, and that's why he spit it up.
Is that information you can share with me tonight?
No. Unfortunately.
This is something that you shared with the police, though?
Yeah, I mean, the police.
She's like, damn.
Are, aware of this information.
And does this pertain to?
So he's been talking to witnesses that the police haven't. Who in the hell would he?
Witnesses in Maryland or witnesses in LA?
Yeah, in Maryland.
So neighbors.
Have you and your family ever been successful in trying to at least track down
neighbors,
the home where that assault happened? Because I feel like that was part of the strategy, was to try to identify what home that might have been.
Yeah, I mean, some internet sleuths have, found the address pretty early on in the investigation, and that was kind of public knowledge, weeks after.
How is he going out? He's like nonchalantly just walking out. This Discord? Okay, thank you. I don't understand this. What the hell? He's like walking out all nonchalant too.
My sister's murder. So.
Did you make any contact with the people in that home?
And they shut the door.
No, did not.
Like, he didn't even shut the door. They shut the door.
My understanding, it involved a minor. And, I just wanted to kind of stay away from that situation and give them their privacy.
No way. That would. Oh my gosh. That was not the minor that shut the door for him, was it? Oh my gosh. What a sick motherfucker.
One of the other revelations today was that the sheriff in the case said that it is possible that this killer may have actually been stalking Rachel, or at least may have had an eye out for her prior. But he thinks that if they catch this killer, that roads will lead back to some connection. What do you know about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any definitive evidence pointing to the fact that he did stalk my sister leading up to her murder. And likewise,
Really?
I don't think that there's any evidence, to say that's not true. So it would just be speculation. But one thing I do know is,
Are you?
Yeah, one thing I do
go
know
ahead.
is he went there with the purpose of killing someone. Whether he planned on my sister or not, I don't know.
Oh, so it wasn't just gonna be an assault. It was gonna be an assault. Okay, hold on. Did he? This is a lot here. Okay, it was a home invasion. CJ is what they're. Okay, so that's a minor that caught him with two. What? It is bizarre, like walking out nonchalant. You're not. The little brother shut the door? Okay, so he just, did she get assaulted or was it just unaliving? So okay, so did this take place at her home? I'm so confused right now. Tied to home and... All right, let me finish this video. We'll get to a couple other things here. Thank you, AG.
And Michael, how do you know that?
You know, information.
Oh, wow.
You know, that would lead me to that, you know, conclusion, which I don't believe I'm allowed to discuss.
Did the killer have a particular kind of weapon?
That I'm not aware of. So, but I mean, Sheriff Gaylor had made a few statements, you know, about the brutality of the attack over in Los Angeles. You know, that it wasn't a sexual assault, but it was an assault, and that he was led to believe that if, you know, the suspect wasn't interrupted.
Okay, what? It wasn't a sexual assault, but it... Okay, what? It wasn't a sexual assault, but it was an assault?
Back over in Los Angeles.
What, he was like standing up above him or some shit? You know what I mean? Like, is that what it was? This is fucking...
Angeles. You know, that it wasn't a sexual assault, but it was an assault, and that he was led to believe that if, you know, the suspect wasn't interrupted, that, you know, they would have ended up same as my sister. So that leads me to believe that, you know, there is a correlation.
If he wasn't interrupted, it would have ended up the same as his sister.
You know, to that, have it be a particular weapon used or not.
So, okay, so she... Right. But he said it wasn't a sexual assault, but it was an assault. I don't get that.
I don't think there's any definitive evidence pointing to the fact that he did stalk my sister leading up to her murder. And likewise, I don't think that there's any evidence, you know, to say that's not true. So it would just be speculation. But one thing I do know is...
Are you?
Yeah, one thing I do know is he went there with the purpose of killing someone. You know, whether he planned on my sister or not, I don't know.
Whoa.
And Michael, how do you know that?
You know, information, you know, that would lead me to that, you know, conclusion, which I don't believe I'm allowed to discuss.
Did the killer have a particular kind of weapon?
Okay, what, a conclusion? What?
Lead me to that, you know, conclusion.
And Michael, how do you know that?
Someone, you know, whether he planned on my sister or not, I don't know.
And Michael, how do you know that?
There was more women that were...
You know, information, you know, that would lead me to that, you know, conclusion, which I don't believe I'm allowed to discuss.
Did the killer have a particular kind of weapon?
That I'm not aware of. So, but I mean, Sheriff Gaylor.
So she must have been
a few statements, about the brutality of the attack over in Los Angeles. That it wasn't a sexual assault, but it was an assault. And
I don't
he
understand
was
that.
led to believe that if, the suspect wasn't interrupted, that, they would have ended up same as my sister. So that leads me to believe that, there is a correlation, to that, have it be a particular weapon used or not.
A particular weapon used or not? Was she strangled? What's up, Crystal? Happy Valentine's Day to you. She walked the trail for exercise. No cams on the trail, so he assaulted her in the woods and then put her in a drainage. What's up, Rosie? Good morning. Thank you for hopping in. Or good evening. Ticket 58, thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Wow.
This killer sexually assault Rachel?
That is something I also can't say.
Why can't you say
It's
it?
a very hard question to ask of a family member, and I'm so sorry for that. It just seems so perplexing.
12 hours ago. Why wouldn't he be able to answer that if everybody... Okay, why is he not answering that, everybody? Why is he saying he can't answer that?
It's a very hard question to ask of a family member, and I'm so sorry for that. It just seems so perplexing to everyone who's trying to find this man. Why there's so many details cloaked in secrecy. Is there anything you can tell me to sort of help me understand why they're keeping so many of these details to their vest when in other similar crimes that they're trying to solve, they don't. It's not usually this difficult to learn these details.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a question I can't answer. It has been 6 months, and at some point, I think it'd be time to be the squeaky wheel. I'm not sure if now's that time, but yeah, I don't know why they're holding so much evidence close to the vest.
Michael, is it frustrating to you?
He looks frustrated.
Yeah, it can be very frustrating, but just going to be patient.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, he looks very frustrated. Right, I was just going to say that. Miss you too, Crystal. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. It's like the Letitia stuff. It's just some of them I can't do a show on. I can sit and hang out and all that, but there's just this is crazy. Okay, so let me see here. This is Inside Edition from AG. Thank you for this. And then I got some law and crime stuff too coming up. This is crazy. 6 months. Come on, commercial. Come on. Come on. This is why I pay for premium on YouTube.
He was found on a walking trail. Her boyfriend said he would never harm her. Now police have released this video showing a shirtless man, and they want the public's help to figure out who he is.
Is this the man who brutally beat to death a mother of 5 on a hiking trail? Police released this video in the hopes someone out there can ID him. They say his DNA matches a sample taken from victim Rachel Morin. But get this, her Her body was found in Maryland, but the surveillance video was captured on a camera on the other side of the country in Los Angeles, where cops say the man is suspected in a home invasion case.
Based on the DNA evidence.
Look at that. He's just walking out non-fucking-chalant.
Found in Maryland,
what
but
the
surveillance
fuck?
video was captured on a camera on the other side of the country in Los Angeles.
What the fuck is
cops
that?
say the man is suspected in a home invasion case.
Based on the DNA evidence, we consider the individual in the video we obtained from the Los Angeles Police Department to be the person that murdered Rachel Morin on August 5th.
Video shows the shirtless suspect at the front door of a burglarized LA home. A young girl was also assaulted inside the residence. He's described as being in his 20s, Hispanic, and weighing 150 to 160 pounds. He's also around 5 feet 9 inches tall. Just hours after 37-year-old Rachel Morin's body was discovered 2 weeks ago, her new boyfriend went public saying he had nothing to do with it. 27-year-old Richard Tobin said he knew he'd be considered a suspect. Now he's calling the suspect scum of the earth, writing "Justice for Rachel, R.I.P. Love you, Rach" on his Facebook page. Now cops hope this video...
What? What? Hold on.
So around 5 feet 9 inches tall. Just hours after 37-year-old Rachel Morin's body was discovered 2 weeks ago, her new boyfriend went public saying he had nothing to do with it. 27-year-old Richard Tobin said he knew he'd be considered a suspect. Now he's calling the suspect scum of the earth, writing "Justice for Rachel, R.I.P. Love you, Rach" on his Facebook page. Now cops hope this video will help solve Rachel's murder.
Bro, you just started dating her, man. Slow down.
We're hoping that the community now can watch that video and that somebody can identify him.
Man, they tell you they love you in the first couple days. Run, motherfucker, run! Even if, even if. Man, what the hell? Love you. Rachel Morin murder. Maryland Sheriff's Office releases new sketch of suspect.
Marcus is a connoisseur of...
Oh, commercials. Got to. What's up, Sussin? Happy Valentine's Day. Somebody's got a... I mean, that's a pretty descriptive photo. Oh, those are cool speakers. How do you unmute? There we go.
On Saturday, around 11:23 p.m., our office received a call concerning a missing person. That person being Rachel Morin, age 37, from Bell.
Yeah, there ain't no commercials on YouTube either. Hey, AG, I ain't fucking with that Chinese shit, bro. I'm good. I ain't fucking with that Chinese shit.
By her boyfriend to have been overdue, returning home.
Think about it. You know how much they surveil their motherfucking shit, right? You don't think they're fucking peeping through your shit? You're out of your damn mind.
To her home from being out.
Yes,
where he thought she had gone to what is a very popular hiking, jogging, walking trail in our community, the Ma and Pa Trail, and that she was a routine user of that facility. It's owned by the County Parks and Recs Department. Always kind of a matter of routine, parked on the William Street lot.
Thank you.
Where one of the trailheads are, and in fact told us that her car was still there. Deputies went up to that lot, located her vehicle, and at that point, we initiated a missing person investigation. Then, as the night went on, the morning went on, and she had not. We began a woodland search of the trail and the surrounding areas, and the community began to get involved on social media. Some members of our community decided to self-deploy into the woods. It's an open, large wooded area that surrounds, just outside the town limits, that surrounds the hiking trail. And it was one of these individuals who was able to locate the crime scene and located Rachel's body and called 911. And then we got our detectives on scene there and initiated the missing person investigation, transitioned into a homicide investigation. It was more than obviously apparent to police officers and our detectives who came up that this was not an accidental injury, somebody out exercising who's fallen down and sustained a fatal injury. This was not something that was self-inflicted, that she had done to herself. This was the actions of, one or more persons who took her life in in a criminal homicide, an egregious, horrific act in what is very otherwise, other than this horrible event, this is a very, very safe area. And that's why I think it's garnering so much public attention, because it's so much out of the norm, not just for our county as a whole, but this specific community and along this hiking trail, which is used by so many of our residents. But I can tell you the scene from where her car was to where the crime scene was, and we're not saying specifically where it was at this point, but she went by some, to get there from point A to point B, she went by some residents, and we're asking people who saw anything or maybe cameras captured something. In addition to our people being out soliciting for that, if someone has something that they think could be something that would advance the criminal investigation, of benefit to our investigation, we certainly want to know. We want to talk to those people. We have received a whole lot of tips, and each one, we have 10 detectives specifically assigned to this case at the moment. And that is in addition to the other, support from patrol, other detectives from the agency, from our civilian staff who are in tech surveillance or who are in the crime lab, those types of assisting assisting units. But we have 10 detectives specifically assigned to this investigation right now, and they're looking through every single tip to see if it's, of value to the investigation. So much of what is out there on social media is not accurate or, it's not serving much purpose other than to fuel the rumor mill. And I have said, if you think you have something, if you have information you think might be of value, posting it on Facebook or Twitter is not the place to go. Share that with our investigators. Again, keep in mind, there's a family here. There's children who have lost their mom. There are siblings who have lost their sister. There are parents who have lost their daughter. And there are a lot of friends who have lost a friend. They don't need to read speculation. That they want facts, and that's what I and my men and women are interested in giving them. Facts, and we want a successful conclusion to this case, and we want every bit of evidence that will help us in that direction. We're not tagging anybody as a suspect or a person of interest. We're working this case as you would any case, from the victim and working our way out from the inner circle. There's a lot of talk online about Rachel's boyfriend, of course, the individual who reported her missing to us. With people, conspiracy theories, people quoting his criminal history. I can tell you that our investigators have spoken to him, as they have spoken to many other people. But we are looking at everything, again, from that close inner circle to the far reaches of that this could be a totally random event, a person. And if I, as sheriff, if I could alleviate some of the concerns here in our community by saying, hey, we have a solid suspect. We know who did this. This was tied to somebody, and now we just got to prove it. That would be great. As great as you can in this kind of situation. That would be good reassurance that this was not some random thing, but a targeted event. That would be. You can't have good news associated with this in any form, but our community would at least have some rest to know that that person has been identified. We do not have that confidence, and I keep saying that over and over again.
Wow.
We are looking at every possibility, and to focus on just one individual might come at the expense of, letting someone else, not looking at someone else. And we are not about to do that. If you have something you think might be of value, again, give that to us. Let us vet that information. Let our detectives vet that information to see if it's of value. It might be the key piece of evidence that allows us to successfully bring this case to a conclusion. But on the other side of that coin, I would ask not to speculate or post, accusations or assumptions on social media. That, again, that does the family no good. That does our community no good. Everyone wants the facts. We want to give them as much facts as we can, and keeping the investigations secure, to make sure we can put together a successful case. We know there's some fear about using the trail. We've stepped up our efforts there with bike patrols, foot patrols, and patrols in some of our off-road vehicles. So our community will see the deputies on the trail for the foreseeable future. We've always patrolled it, but we have a much more aggressive patrol out there now to ensure our citizens are safe using it.
Man. Moscow PD. Moscow PD. That's how you do a fucking press conference when you don't have much fucking info, but you're trying to let the community know that they're somewhat safe. Moscow PD. And for all them fucking people that want to say that we just bash LE, give me a fucking break. Round of applause for this dude. You don't have much shit, but damn, man. That's how you do a fucking presser when you don't have much information. Round of applause for that gentleman. That's how you do it. All right, 1 second here. Let's see, one more. Thank you, AG. Appreciate it. This one. And then we're going to get to this law and crime, and we might even go to this court TV thing. I think it's going to be, we might be covering this case today because it doesn't make sense here.
For Michael Gabrzeski.
Okay, this is, how do I...
The Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, uncharted
I
territory.
just want to go full screen, yo. Son of a bitch.
But the former National Park search and rescue officer has
I can't go
extensive
full screen.
experience
Son of a
hunting down
bitch. I can't go full screen.
So
Hold on. Jeez, what the fuck? There we go. What are you doing? Oh my God. Work.
I had never walked it myself.
Work.
For Michael Gabrzeski.
I told my stepdaughter, I said, look, it's not going to be laying out in the open.
The Ma and Pa Trail in
The
Bel
hell
Air,
is this?
uncharted territory.
I said, she's going to be tucked away somewhere.
But the former National Park search and rescue officer has extensive
Yeah, you can't play, I mean, I appreciate you guys sending me the interview room, but they're like one of the only YouTube creators out there that'll strike your ass for using shit with fair play. So, it's crazy. Can't do it. You're just gonna have to go watch it. I mean, I do enjoy their shows, but unfortunately, they're one of the few that'll strike your fucking ass, and I think it's stupid. So unfortunately, yeah, we can't. Because trust me, there was a couple of them we wanted to go into before, but no, they will strike your ass. They will strike your ass.
experience tracking down missing people.
So basically, it's my passion.
It's great
To bring closure to that family by bringing her back and not having them
I can breathe.
Following reports, 37-year-old Rachel Moren left for a walk and never returned. Gabrzeski and his stepdaughter taking off on a search rooted on instinct.
I just kept seeing tunnels in my mind.
Tunnels?
I don't know why, but I just kept seeing tunnels.
Despite law enforcement swarming the area for almost a full day, Gabrzeski's stepdaughter locating the body in about an hour. The deadly discovery.
Once we got down there and I started seeing them tunnels, I started getting goosebumps.
Made in a tunnel drain not far from the trail's main entrance.
I saw a terrible mess.
Gabrzeski's visions meeting the reality of a gruesome scene.
There's not going to be an open casket, I can guarantee you that.
He says Morin's body found in a pool of blood, suffering severe head trauma, an injury he believes could be the result of a rock.
What the fuck is that? I hate when it shrinks when you pause it. Why do you shrink? I'm trying to look at this damn rock. I can't even look at the rock because it's
My daughter.
What the hell?
He believes could be the result of a rock.
My daughter.
Or is that a tree or
there
what?
was a big rock down there that was all caked in blood.
I understand many of you want answers, and we do too.
The latest update from the Harford County
This
Sheriff's
guy's awesome.
Department declining to mention how Morin died and not yet naming a suspect. This is Morin's boyfriend quickly taking to social media, proclaiming his innocence. Richard Tobin writing, quote, "I love Rachel. I would never do anything to her. Let the family and I grieve."
I mean, it could have been his way of grieving, but it's not about you. It's about her. It's about
Yeah. Love you. What the hell, bro? The fuck, dude?
bringing
No, you
her
don't.
home and somebody's mother, somebody's
What is it?
daughter.
Morin's boyfriend quickly taking to social media, proclaiming his innocence. Richard Tobin writing, quote, "I love Rachel. I would never do anything to..."
Oh, can you fucking pause so I can read this shit? Oh my gosh. I can't even fucking read it. This is driving me nuts.
Let the
Hold
family
on.
and I grieve. Richard Tobin writing, quote, "I
Fucking
love Rachel.
pause.
I would never do anything to her.
Yes,
Let the
I have a
family
pass,
and
but I
grieve."
also have
I mean,
15
it
months
could have
clean
been
and
his
have
way of
changed as a
grieving.
person. Please.
But it's not about you. It's about her. It's about bringing her home and somebody's mother, somebody's daughter. She left behind 5 children.
Whoever the killer is, Gabrzeski
5
convinced
children.
it's someone with close ties to the victim.
Because it's too personal.
5
if
children.
somebody were just to do a thrill kill, it wouldn't be as brutal as what we witnessed.
Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
Right, that's true. What he's saying is true. If it was that, it wouldn't. My God. Whoa, now where are we going? Okay, I'm getting out of this. Yikes. Whoa, that thing just blew up in my ear after I switched it. Good thing you guys didn't hear that part. That fucking was that was nuts. All right, give me 1 second. Let's see if there's anything breaking real quick. And we're going to go into this law and crime, and I'm going to go through some of these other articles here too. Give me 1 second. Let's see if there's anything crazy going on, any kind of cop chases. It's probably been about 8 or 9 months since I had a cop chase on the show here. I'm not seeing anything. I don't see anything breaking. So while okay, I don't see anything there. So what we're going to be going over coming up here in the next few nights and the next few shows is we're going to be having an episode. You guys know Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly had Howard Bloom on her show. I think it was last March. I think she had Howard Bloom on her show. Now, she was she did like a 5-part series about what she thinks, and this was just recently, maybe a month ago. She did like a 5-part series. So one of the shows we're going to be getting into, and it's going to be a multi-part, is Megyn Kelly and Howard Bloom. We're first going to watch the Megyn Kelly Howard Bloom interview from back last March, and then we're going to end up doing the review on that, and also the 5-part series that she did. So that's going to be its own series. We're going to be continuing the Enon shows. We'll be continuing that. We're going to be doing shows with all the other people involved as well. And we'll be talking Emma, D, JD, JS, HJ, JV, DL, DD, PD, and all of them. We got some other stuff coming out about other players and theories connected with that too. And also we're going to be getting into more Don Daniels stuff when it comes to, contamination. We're going to be discussing more about that. We'll also be having an episode coming up about Doug Wilson and the Christ Church and escaping a cult. We're going to be having a show on that. We'll also be having a show where we finish up the Paramount series. And then we're also going to be doing the part 2 of the Kim Call episode. So if you hadn't checked that one out yet, definitely check it out. Take some notes, and we're going to be discussing it in the part 2. So those are all the shows that we're going to have coming up, or mini part series that we're going to be starting as well. And as always, we'll be continuing our members only live this weekend, Sunday morning, early afternoon. We'll be continuing our OJ25 members live, and we need to get a consistent game night in there too. So that's all the stuff that we have coming up so far. And then also the IGG stuff and time frames. So these are all the shows that we have coming up very soon here, starting now. We'll be having all these shows coming up for the next week and a half for that. Plus some of these other cases, because I am back on in the morning. And now we get to really do some work, and we're going to be hitting up some on-location destinations coming up here soon, too. Very soon. Now that all this restoration fire crew shit is done and out of the way, we are set to sail. We are ready to fly. And we're heading out there. CJ, don't talk about the K-bar snap. It starts a war. Oh, man. Yeah, you know how it is. You know how it is over there. You know how it is. I laugh at it, you know. I just drop a little. I just drop a little bit, and then all right. Because I don't know, that person's still attacked. Not as much. I gotta admit. Congratulations, TCF. You're not going out there harassing a whole bunch of people anymore. You're actually putting out some information. So it's nice when people can use their energy for positive instead of negative. It's unfortunate. Sometimes a meme has to come up in order for it to stop. All right, we're going to check out this Law and Crime. It's Crime Fix episode about this. I'd like to get into more of this California crime too, because I don't know, something's odd about that as well. So here's this. There was no new information. I'm going to see if there's any documents that are dropping. This is the newest Law and Crime. This is from last night, talking about this case, and there's a bunch of other stuff.
Have you seen someone who looks like this man, possibly wearing a hat? Investigators in Maryland say a man who looks just like this murdered Rachel Moren, a mother of 5 and a beloved daughter and sister. I'm Anjanette Levy. It's Tuesday, and this is Crime Fix. The sketch of the man in the Air Jordan hat is the newest clue.
So I'm going to leave that there. Wait, is there a closer picture? Hold on. I thought this... No, that's just not the full face, though.
Seen someone who looks like this man, possibly wearing a hat? Investigators in Maryland say a man who looks just like this murdered Rachel Moren, a mother of 5 and a beloved daughter and sister. I'm Anjanette Levy. It's Tuesday, and this is Crime Fix. The sketch of the man in the Air Jordan hat is the newest clue, a little more than 6 months after Rachel Moren was attacked and murdered on the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. The crime has rocked the small community where people once felt safe. The Hartford County Sheriff's Office.
Wait a minute. Where in Maryland? I'm sorry. I'm trying to gather all this here.
Than 6 months after Rachel Moren was attacked and murdered on the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. The crime has rocked the small community where people once felt safe. The Hartford County Sheriff's Office just released these sketches of the man who murdered Rachel Moren. The search for her killer is a nationwide manhunt. Detectives don't know his name, but they have his DNA. Last year, we told you the sheriff said the man who murdered Moren in August was also involved in an assault in Los Angeles months earlier in March. Home security video from a house in LA recorded the man leaving shirtless, but it only caught a side profile of him.
Yeah. See, so
home security video from a house in LA recorded the man leaving.
Oh, so hold on. So they just totally cut that part of the video out now, because before
was
I remember
also involved
before
in an assault in Los Angeles months earlier in March. Home security video from a house in LA recorded.
I remember before you could see the arm coming out.
Months earlier in March. Home security video from a house in LA recorded the man leaving shirtless, but it only caught a side profile of him. Now you're going to hear from the sheriff of Harford County, Maryland, on why he believes these sketches look just like the man who murdered Rachel Moren. Stay tuned for more on that and why that Air Jordan hat he is wearing is so important to the investigation. The sheriff's office has interviewed more than 100 people. Detectives have scoured the area for clues and surveillance video, and they've pleaded with the public for help. They've traveled to several states, and now they've even produced a new podcast, all in the hope of reaching people.
So they started a new podcast. What? Hold on. Let me save this. Why is this in the Dylan Rounds thing? All right. Why? Let me see. So this is... What's the name of the podcast? Intuit. What's the name of the podcast?
He is wearing is so important to the investigation. The sheriff's office has interviewed more than 100 people. Detectives have scoured the area for clues and surveillance video, and they've pleaded with the public for help. They've traveled to several states, and now they've even produced a new podcast, all in the hope of reaching people who can help solve Rachel Moren's murder. Joining me to discuss the very latest on the investigation into Rachel Moren's murder is Sheriff Jeff Gaylor of Harford County. Sheriff Gaylor, bring us up to speed. What's the very latest since you've released these two sketches of the suspect?
Obviously, the big news this week is that yesterday we released a composite. That's been a question since early on in the investigation. We had the video of the suspect leaving a crime scene in Los Angeles in March of last year, 6 months in advance of Rachel's homicide. And from that crime scene, DNA was collected, and there was some Ring doorbell camera, which gave us a short video and a side, more of a side picture in the back of the suspect. So working off of that and talking to witnesses and witnesses here in our county who saw an individual that they thought suspicious along the trail in the days and hours ahead of Rachel's homicide, we finally have a composite that we have a much higher level of confidence in. It's been shown to both the people here and the people in Los Angeles, and they feel that it's a good representation, an accurate representation of our suspect in this case.
So when you say it's been shown to people there in Maryland, in the Bel Air, Maryland area, Harford County, and I'm assuming the person in Los Angeles, the house that this person was leaving, because that's where you got some of the DNA from, or, the DNA matched, the DNA left on Rachel Moren matched DNA from that incident in Los Angeles. So somebody from that incident was able to say, yeah, that looks like him.
Correct. And there were actually, and again, that case is still an active investigation being investigated by the Los Angeles Police Department. So we're limited on what we can say about that. But what I can say is there were multiple people in that home, and everyone has been spoken to by our investigators and shown that picture. I don't know that everybody's been shown that picture, but multiple people have been shown that picture from California. And again, the information that our investigators are getting back is they feel it is a good representation of what the suspect looks like. And obviously the baseball hat is unique. It's a Michael Jordan, Air Jordan red baseball hat.
Maroon.
With a flat brim, and the new sticker is still on it the way some people like to wear it. That hat is what was recovered out there and what the DNA was pulled off of.
So that is a big deal. The Air Jordan hat that you see in that composite sketch was actually recovered from the house in Los Angeles where the suspect was seen leaving on camera in March of last year, months before Rachel Morin was murdered. And that's where they got the DNA for the suspect. That DNA is what linked the two crimes. Now, that hat could be a key clue.
One of the items collected by the Los Angeles Police Department was this hat. And we have reason to believe from witnesses who believe they saw our suspect here that he had a hat on. So it's not the same hat, but it could be a identical hat or something similar, but probably wears it in a similar style, flat brimmed with, again, in this case, it was an Air Jordan. And like many people in society do today, they like to leave the tags on it that come from the manufacturer. So just one more bit of information that we hope clicks in someone's mind and they say, I might have an idea who this is, and that generates the tips that our investigators need to put the name of that DNA sample into that video, into the composite.
It'd be interesting if you could take maybe a serial number or something like that off of that hat and trace the sale. With computers in this day and age, it's amazing what they can do in tracing sales.
I will say, and we're not going into, we're being careful not to release any investigative information that the investigators or the prosecutor wants us to stay away from. But I will just say, through this investigation, I have been amazed at what is possible through scientific and electronic investigative efforts. So our investigators, we've had so many tips through our social media and through the phone line. But I said yesterday in an interview, no one has proposed something that we haven't thought about and or done to this day. And I say keep those tips coming because the next suggestion might be something we haven't thought about. So,
Is the FBI assisting you at all with this investigation since, it spans multiple jurisdictions? You have a DNA sample that's not in CODIS, and we know that the FBI has resources that it can use, including genetic genealogy, which I know you said you're not going into these things, but there are things that the FBI is capable of doing that maybe the Harford County Sheriff's Office is not. So is the FBI assisting?
Yeah, certainly our federal partners have technology and resources that aren't available to us, but are available through partnership and a good working relationship. And they have assisted us through this investigation. I don't know that they are, I would have to go to an investigator to see that they're actively involved at this point. To the best of my knowledge, they are, but I'm not 100% sure. But they certainly have assisted along the way. And I have no doubt that if we called on them tomorrow for something, that they would be there assisting us. We've worked with other federal, state, and local partners, just, the Los Angeles Police Department. And it's, something we shared previously was that our investigators traveled to Chicago. We worked with that police department on doing an interview up there of not a suspect, but of a potential witness in the case. So we continue to work with all of our partners, even the private sector, who might help us solve this horrific crime.
This is a horrific crime, and it's terrifying. Just to me, this is every woman's worst fear. You're attacked while you're out doing whatever. You're out going to the grocery, you're out doing whatever. I mean, Rachel Morin went out for a run or a walk on a trail and never came home. Right. And she, has 5 children that she left behind. She has a family who loves her. You've got this incident out in Los Angeles where this guy just kind of walks out of this house. I mean, God only knows what happened there because LAPD is not saying.
Look at that.
So,
Nonchalant.
To me, I find this guy to be
what the hell
terrifying. He's obviously very dangerous, and he was able to go from Los Angeles to Maryland, 2,500, 3,000 miles away within a matter of months.
Right.
So he could be anywhere by now, and he could be laying low. But people who do these types of things, sometimes they can stop, sometimes they don't. If he is somebody who's a rapist and a predator. So how concerned are you guys that he may strike again? Or maybe you will be able to catch him. I don't know. Or maybe he's left the country. I have no idea. I mean,
and all that Right, and everything you said is spot on and very possible. We don't know whether he is from here and happened to travel out to Los Angeles when that crime occurred, and then has come back and then committed the act here. We don't know whether he's from there and traveled out here, and or he's just transient and traveled somewhere in between. The only thing, kind of new information that we have released, is that investigators are confident that in the days and probably weeks ahead of time, that he was here, not just a random passing through for 10 minutes and found this trail and a crime of opportunity. They do believe, based on witness interviews here, that he was here for some time, like I said, a week or days ahead of the homicide. And in that time, he had to interact with people. Even if he's not here now, in that time, he had to stay somewhere. He had to eat. He had to, probably work somewhere. So we're confident that people here interacted with him, and we need them to look at the composite. We need them to watch that video and provide us with whatever investigative tips that they might have. But you hit it spot on. This is a very safe community. The trail is even safer than the community in general. I mean, nothing even remotely like this. We've had car break-ins for, ladies' purses or computers left at the trailheads, but no sort of violent crime whatsoever up until Rachel's homicide. And again, yes, a lady who did nothing at all to deserve this, a victim of a horrific crime. The victims are her children, her family, her sister, her brother, her mother, who are all left with questions and with this incredible loss.
66,
and,
thank you.
Although we can never bring Rachel back, what we can do, hopefully our investigators pour their heart and have poured and will continue to pour their heart into this case, is bring this suspect to the criminal justice system so that he's never able to do such a thing again, because I think he will.
Sheriff Gaylor, have you all in your
I bet.
casing found any video of this guy around the trail or in the general vicinity? Because you're saying you think he was in the area for a while before this happened. I mean, was he staking out the trail? Maybe looking for somebody to prey upon? I mean, have you been able to maybe piece his movements together at all?
Again, I can't. I'm not going to get too much into the investigation, but we have done witness interviews that have led investigators to believe that he was in the area along the trail, more or less canvassing or staking out a location in which to commit this horrible act, so that there was some forethought put into it, that it wasn't just a crime of opportunity where he and she passed on the trail at the same time. Now, we don't know that he targeted Rachel, but he certainly targeted that location and had a plan. And one of the new tidbits that we did, pieces of information that we did release, was that she was attacked on the trail. That the initial confrontation occurred on the hiking trail, and that he attacked her there and then moved her. I believe it's about 70 to 100 yards away, to a drainage tunnel, which was in some of the news reports earlier, but we failed. We were not willing to confirm it before, but we are confirming that that's where the homicide took place.
Sheriff Gaylor, there's a reward in this case, so tell us about that.
Sure. In the days after this horrible crime, this terrible case, the loss of Rachel, we put up a reward in the weeks that followed. Several organizations, the family as well, has worked to increase that. Recently, there was a $5,000 addition. So the reward for information leading to that suspect's identity and arrest and prosecution is now at $35,000. So we're hoping that that might motivate someone who, and again, I think someone out there has seen that video and or the sketch and has an idea who that is, and they need to share that with us. And hopefully, $35,000 is some motivation to do so.
Wow, that's a lot.
Shouldn't be needed, because this,
that's a
as
lot.
we spoke about, this individual will commit one of these horrendous acts again if he's not removed from the ability to do so.
Right.
And you've had a lot of tips coming in since you released that sketch.
We have, again, in the 6 months early in the investigation, as it goes with any investigation, the tips were rolling in. They've continued to come in over 6 months, but they've certainly slowed down a lot. The release of the composite, the additional information, us releasing it through sharing a podcast where we discuss the case, something new. to reach new people who don't necessarily read a paper or watch the nightly news. Reach a new audience. The tips have really picked up quite a bit. So hopefully, in those, our investigators will find the tip that they need.
Sheriff Jeff Gaylor, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that this reward, we hope this sketch leads to the identification of a suspect in this case. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Anyone with information about Rachel Morin's murder should call.
So there's the number, 410-836-7788. What's up, no shenanigans? What the hell? You can take the Appalachian Trail from... Yeah, because it goes freaking... Because isn't that the trail that they were claiming, Brian Laundrie was possibly going, remember? With the Gabby Petito case, Brian Laundrie was, maybe he went up the trail that goes from, he was a woodsman. He could handle it. I think they were talking about that trail with the laundry shit. All right, so it was a drainage ditch. What's the freaking address of this place? Jeez. I thought it was gonna... Okay, Monpa Heritage. Okay, so which one is it? Is it well, there's two heritage trails. You got North Ave, Monpa Heritage Trail, North Ave access, and Heritage Trail down here. Closes at 6:45 p.m. 6 months ago, it would have closed later. So that was a new sketch released after 6 months. Let me see if there's anything else coming out real quick. We're going to get to another video for you guys. Let me see here. Just checking the breaking news. I'm not seeing anything. Excuse me. Here's something that just came out, but we've already, maybe they might have some more stuff on it here. They're talking about the new sketch again.
Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor, thank you, Sheriff, for your time on this important case. I know you and your team are working tirelessly to get this person into custody. How much more do you know?
Okay, so this must be a newer interview from today, because the other one I think we watched from Banfield was last night. Bel Air, Maryland. Yeah, that's where I have it. Bel Air, Maryland, 21014 is the address that I have in there. But it pops up with two of them. So which is it? Is it there's two of them. With that address. And does anybody have like a GPS location I can just type in and then where it was found? I'm just curious, like how far did she have to walk? Like drainage pipe, so it's got to be well, it'd have to be close, I'd imagine. I don't think they would wait that, it's got to be somewhere by the by the entrance, I'd
about this
imagine.
suspect that you can share with our audience?
Well, the sketch, as Patty said there, as Rachel's mom said in that piece she just played, the sketch is our new big piece of information, and particularly the hat. The hat is a representation of the hat, the Air Jordan red hat with the new stickers on it that was recovered at the crime scene in March of last year in Los Angeles. That's what the DNA was pulled from. So, people, I think, as Patty said, somebody's going to know who that is, recognize them. I think you could probably recognize them from the video, but the sketch is the big thing. This is the first time after 6 months. We've tried several sketches, but showing them to people here and people in Los Angeles who we believe saw this killer, they didn't agree that it was the prior efforts were a good representation of the suspect. Everyone agrees that this picture is a much better, a much more accurate representation of who we're looking for.
And Sheriff, are you working under the assumption right now this was one person responsible for this horrible crime, or are there potentially other suspects?
All evidence, everything that has come to my attention so far, we believe he acted alone. But again, these kind of questions are open because we won't know until he's in custody. And we get an opportunity to have a conversation with him, whether other people were involved. But all the evidence is that individual on the video is the individual who took Rachel's life and who we need to identify. We have all the evidence. What we're missing is the name. So we just need a name to put with that image, with that composite, and to bring him to justice to make sure he is not given an opportunity to do something so horrific again.
I know there's been a lot of fear in your community, especially those who frequent this trail, but there have also been investigative leads, or at least cooperation, in 7 other states. Do you have reason to believe he may still be in the area, or do you think he could have gone to one of these other areas where you're working with law enforcement?
Oh, come on. Dude.
Again, that's one of the
He's gone.
things. Certainly,
he's
with
gone.
40 years of police experience, and we have great investigators working on this. My inkling would be that he fled the area, but criminals, no one can commit such a crime and be in the right frame of mind. So he could very well be here. He could be back in Los Angeles or anywhere on the globe for that matter. Every community is at risk until he is removed from the street.
Tell me more about the development of this sketch, how it came together, and also the link to California and that burglary months prior.
Absolutely. We have been working with the Los Angeles Police Department out there. That was the earlier crime. This hat was recovered from a home invasion and assault that happened there. And one new piece of information that we have said is that there were multiple people in the house, not just the individual or people who were assaulted, but there were multiple people in the house at the time of that home invasion. And we have spoke to all our investigators, along with Los Angeles, have spoke to every one of them. They have shown this composite to them, as well as people here who in the days and the hours leading up to Rachel's homicide saw what they believe was the suspect on the hiking trail, probably staking out, waiting for this opportunity to whether to grab Rachel or just, anyone that came down the trail. We don't know, but
Whoa. Hold on. So the dude was just waiting, period. So was she stalked, or was the dude? Was she stalked, or was he just
the suspect on the hiking trail, probably staking out, waiting for this opportunity to whether to grab Rachel or just, anyone that came down the trail. We don't know, but certainly at this point, we do believe he staked out that portion of the trail and had prepared himself for either her or another woman whoever came along.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, this is a very safe area in your community. I know there haven't been a lot of problems. You have extra patrols out there. Any cameras along this trail that you all have been able to glean more evidence from, or witnesses who were out there that day?
Certainly at the trailheads, there's businesses and a lot of residences. Some in different places have portions of the trail. My own backyard hits a different portion of this mile and pop hiking trail. So investigators have canvassed for all that evidence, but there are no trails. The trail is a Parks and Rec, Harford County Government Parks and Rec park system property, but there are no cameras along the trail. We made that suggestion in the days following Rachel's murder, and the county is moving in that direction. We kind of hope they'd be up by now, but as you said, this is beyond abnormal for this trail, for this area. It's so far outside the norm because it is such a safe area. My daughter's walked this trail for years, lived on it for 22 years. Never did I have a fear of such a thing happening for my daughter, for my wife, for myself going out there, or our community members. But this day, now 6 months ago, certainly changed that line of thought for a lot of people.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
Wow, this is hold on one second. There's another one. This is from when the case, where in the hell? This is from when the case first happened. So this is Court TV.
37-year-old mother of 5, Rachel Moren, went for a jog in Bel Air, Maryland on August 5th, but never returned home. She was reported missing that night. The following day, her remains were discovered under horrific circumstances. Law enforcement officials are staying tight-lipped on the details surrounding Rachel's death, but the case has been deemed a violent homicide. And while no suspects have been identified, authorities are interviewing those closest to Rachel. Tonight, what we know about Rachel Moren and the mystery of what happened to her on that trail. Good evening to you and welcome to Closing Arguments. I'm Julie Grant, in tonight for Vinnie Politan. We begin this evening in Maryland, where a missing person case is now a homicide investigation. We're talking about 37.
All right, let me pause it real quick. It says, they say you can't see canals from the trail. If he drugged her 70 yards, he had to be watching. So she was 70 yards from the trail? Allegedly might have. Theory is he was living in the woods. Right. Yeah, because you got to keep a schedule. You got to keep a schedule when you have all that going on. Yeah. They were given 20, but ATVs and... What? Like, why wouldn't you have trail cams? What the hell? Why wouldn't you have trail cams? Oh, hell no.
7-year-old mother of 5, Rachel Moren. She was last seen alive on August 5th. Her body was discovered the next day. Right now, we have more questions than we do answers as to what happened to Rachel. Let's begin, though, with the newest developments. Jeff Hagar with Scripps affiliate WMAR reports.
Images of Rachel Moren, the murdered mother of 5, now mark the Ma and Pa Trail. The Harford County Sheriff's Office has been inundated with questions surrounding her death, prompting the sheriff to take to social media.
One question we have continued to get centers around whether we have interviewed the boyfriend in this case. The answer is yes, we have, along with many other people who are close to Rachel.
A modern-day whodunit, this case almost immediately attracted the attention of the national media, as well as from outlets from abroad. While the sheriff's office has 78,000 followers on Facebook, posts about Rachel's murder have reached 2 million people. The public, hungry for answers, is gobbling up coverage of virtually anyone claiming to have information about the case.
Basically, when we walked up, we saw fresh blood. And my daughter's boyfriend thought it was deer blood at first.
Police say they're frustrated by such people seeking the spotlight.
Obviously, there are people out there who are coming up with putting out information in the public that they have no firsthand knowledge of, talking about the crime scene that they have no firsthand knowledge of.
Investigators are also concerned about the integrity of the case if details only known to the killer become public, not to mention the impact it could have on Rachel's family.
All the false information that's going on out there hearing about possible injuries to her and how this crime occurred, which aren't true, has got to make it harder on them. And so people need to think about that when they're out there spreading that kind of information.
In Harford County, Jeff Hager, WMAR 2 News.
I want to bring in my guest and talk some more about this case. Joining us this evening from Baltimore, Maryland, WMAR anchor Kelly Swoop is with us. And retired NYPD Sergeant, the former director of the NYPD Homicide School and the author of 2 books, The Criminal Investigative Function and The Cold Case Handbook, Joseph Jackalone is with us as well. Joseph and Kelly, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Let's just start with where things are this evening, the sentiment there in Maryland, in this area, everybody on edge, understandably so. Kelly, let me go to you for that, please. What are you hearing? What are people there saying tonight, please?
Julie, a lot of people concerned about their safety. This is a very, very popular park, the Morin Trail, in a very suburban area, about 35 miles outside of Baltimore. Not a lot of crime in this Harford County community. So police basically stepped up their efforts to ensure people that they were safe. But still a lot of questions about what happened to this mom who was actually just there going for a run or a walk and reported missing. And the next day her body was found. And there've been a couple of memorials and things organized to show support for her and her family. I know the family has an event coming up on Saturday, but just a lot of people want to know whether or not this was an isolated event, or she was targeted. It's just scary for a lot of folks in Harford County right now.
Absolutely it is, Kelly, and understandably so. Joseph, let me go to you, please. Kind of help us pull back the curtain. What are investigators doing right now, tonight, please?
Well, one of the things that we have to look at is cell phone records, internet records. Of course, those things play a role in this. See if they can maybe triangulate cell phone data within where the victim was attacked and see who was in the area at that time. You know, as you watch the news releases, they see, you know, it's not very populated per se in regards to large sections of the trail. However, there are a lot of developments within that. And one of the things that I would be focusing in on now, and I'm sure the police are too, is if somebody is going to pull off something like this, they have to plan out an escape route. And if you look at the trail, we know that she entered or she parked her car by the William Street entrance of the trail. And if you look a little further, about a quarter of a mile where they said that she was attacked, there's a cul-de-sac there. There's also an area that could be, you know, real close, another parking area. So, for instance, if you're going to flee, if you, let's say you use that cul-de-sac, there might be video surveillance too. So cell phone records, internet records, and video surveillance, I refer to them as the forensic horsemen. And those things are the things that move forward these cases. And I think that's where investigators are.
All right, I'm gonna write this down real quick because that was pretty descriptive of hold on, let me see, rewind it. That was pretty descriptive.
Suburban area, about 35 miles outside of Baltimore. Not a lot of crime in this Harford County community. So police basically stepped up their efforts to ensure people that they were safe, but still a lot of questions about what happened to this mom who was actually just there going for a run or a walk and reported missing. And the next day her body was found. And there've been a couple of memorials and things organized to show support for her and her family. I know the family has an event coming up on Saturday, but just a lot of people want to know whether or not this was an isolated event or she was targeted. It's just scary for a lot of folks in Harford County right now.
Absolutely it is, Kelly, and understandably so. Joseph, let me go to you, please. Kind of help us pull back the curtain. What are investigators doing right now, tonight, please?
Well, one of the things that we have to look at is cell phone records, internet records. Of course, those things play a role in this. See if they can maybe triangulate cell phone data within where the victim was attacked and see who was in the area at that time. You know, as you watch the news releases, they see, you know, it's not very populated per se in regards to large sections of the trail. However, there are a lot of developments within that. And one of the things that I would be focusing in on now, and I'm sure the police are too, is if somebody is going to pull off something like this, they have to plan out an escape route. And if you look at the trail, we know that she entered or she parked her car by the William Street entrance of the trail. And if you look a little further.
All right, so Williams Street entrance of trail. What's up, Mishy girl? William Street entrance of the trail.
By the William Street entrance of the trail. And if you look a little further, about a quarter of a mile where they said that she was attacked, there's a cul-de-sac there. There's also an area that could be, real.
Okay, quarter mile. Cul-de-sac. All right.
Close, another parking area. So, for instance, if you're going to flee, if you, let's say, you use that cul-de-sac, there might be video surveillance too. So cell phone records, internet records, and video surveillance, I refer to them as the forensic horsemen. And those things are the things that move forward these cases. And I think that's where investigators are looking into right now.
Joseph, thank you for that. During a press conference, the Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor laid out the details of when Rachel Morin was reported missing, where her car was eventually located. Let's take a listen.
It was reported by the individual's boyfriend that Rachel Morin, who's age 37, headed out from her home on Old Emerton Road around 6 p.m. to go to the Mon Pa Trail. Once she had not returned as and when expected, the family was obviously concerned. Initial information from the boyfriend, again, the caller who reported her missing, indicated her car was at the lot at the trailhead here on William Street, behind like where Independent Brewery is, the people that are familiar with Bel Air. The car was there, but she was not.
The Mon Pa Trail website has this map of the Bel Air section of the trail, and the website says that the trail winds through wooded, moderately sloped sections through a tunnel underneath Route 24 and alongside North Tollgate Road to its northern point. Now, Rachel's car was located at what's referred to as the William Street entrance near several businesses. As Joe was just noting, this includes the brewery that the sheriff also mentioned at the press conference as well. Kelly Swoop, I want to go back to you, please. Something that kind of puzzles me is that we hear about this trail being so popular, and we know that people were on it that day, not just Rachel Morin, but I'm curious how this could happen with nobody being around to hear screaming or to possibly stop it. Could you kind of shed some light on that, please?
Well, the sheriff has been asked, have there been witnesses? Who have you talked to? Where's the information coming in for? And he's made it very, very clear that there were witnesses in the area. What they saw, what they heard, unclear to us at this point because they're being very tight-lipped about their investigation. But he said that they've interviewed witnesses as well as interviewing the boyfriend. So police, as an investigator said, are being very tight-lipped about the information, but there are things going on behind the scenes in terms of what happened, like tracking the phone records, trying to find out who was in the area. At one point, they were asking people to come forward if they had seen or heard anything. But I think they're kind of dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's to make sure that if they suspect someone, they are building their case with credible information to bring that person in.
Exactly, Kelly. Joseph, let me go back to you, please. We know that law enforcement has publicly stated that they're not sure if this was a targeted attack on Rachel Morin or if Rachel Morin just happened to be a random victim of a very violent crime. What are the things that might be indicators of one or the other to law enforcement, please?
Well, just to start off first, the police will rarely give out clues of what they know, right? So they always keep things really close to the vest because they don't want to let certain things leak out into the public because you have people that will inject themselves into the investigation, which then causes more of a problem. However, so some of the things that the police department would look at a scene like this and to say the manner in which this person was killed, if there was any weapons used, if that weapon was found at the scene or was it brought to the scene, different things such as blood spatter, if there was a vicious attack in that kind of respect. And of course, the most important aspect from an investigative standpoint, as far as I'm concerned, is was the victim sexually assaulted or was it staged to look like a sexual assault? And that's something that the medical examiner will help out with, and also to the forensics experts that have probably combed the scene very carefully, including her clothing and everything else that in and around that area of that crime scene.
Staged.
I appreciate it, Joseph.
So why would he say staged? Why would he say or staged that way? What? This is weird.
Investigative standpoint, as far as I'm concerned, is was the victim sexually assaulted or was it staged to look like a sexual assault?
That's
And that's
weird.
something that the medical examiner will help out with, and also to the forensics experts that have probably
Staged.
combed the scene very carefully, including her clothing and everything else that in and around that area of that crime scene.
I appreciate it, Joseph. Kelly, let me go back to you, please. In terms of these details that we all want to know and investigators are being tight-lipped on, rightfully so, as they should, because solving this crime is really what's most important. Have you heard anything else tonight? I just want to make sure, because you and your colleagues have done a tremendous job covering this case on the ground there. Any details at all coming out about what type of weapon might have been used or whether a weapon might have been recovered or any indication of sex assault like Joseph was wondering about?
They were very, very tight-lipped about that. We did have a witness that pretty much everybody in town interviewed. The interview that was in Jeff Hager's story, a man who claimed that he and his daughter or his daughter's boyfriend were there, that they saw the body, that it was very, very bloodied, and people were very, very upset when those details kind of came out into the light. That's when the sheriff actually held the social media briefing to say that, hey, people putting information out there that we don't know if it's true or not is hurtful to the family. It can hinder their investigation. So as far as if that individual was correct, we don't really know at all. So police, again, not wanting to jeopardize their case, not really letting us know a lot about if there was a weapon. You know, I just did hear the chief say that it was a very, very brutal, horrible crime. And beyond that, he won't give us much more information.
Exactly, Kelly. Joseph, back to you. In terms of what can be learned and who it can be learned from, we know investigators are saying that they're talking to the people closest to Rachel Moren, the people who knew her best, and then, of course, those witnesses, as Kelly mentioned. Where else might they be looking? I'm wondering, might they be looking on social media to see if anybody is talking about this? Could there be clues there?
Well, most certainly, right? So you always, as an investigation, you always start with the victim's closest relatives and families and husbands and wives and everything else. Because why? We are victimized by someone we know most of the time. So investigators always key in upon specifics. So instance, you have a situation where you have a boyfriend, so automatically they are in one of the first people that the police are interested in these cases. Like I said, why? Because most time we are victimized by this person. So investigators will start, I think about it as like a ripple. You throw a rock in the water, you start off real small, and then it actually comes out a little further on down the line. They're going to speak to everyone they can. And yes, I believe social media can play an important role in this, including internet records, text messages, you name it. Because, and not just from the victim's standpoint, but also from possible suspects too. Because as we've seen in the past in several other cases, people have given themselves up by saying things and doing things on the internet and using text messages that they're not really either aware of at the time or they regret it much later on during the investigation.
Exactly, Joseph. We know that Rachel Moren is leaving behind 5 children, which just makes this even more heartbreaking. And people in the community, as soon as they heard a mom is missing, rallied together. We're trying to help. Kelly, in terms of who might have been out there, was it a big showing of support from the community trying to find her at the point when she was still missing and her body hadn't been discovered?
Julie, it was over the weekend, and some people did come out, and then she was found the next day. Since then, there's been a large showing of people in the community trying to rally around the family. There was one memorial that happened, I think, last week or week before last, but that was not sanctioned by the family. That was actually from a lawmaker who wanted to basically let people in the community know that it's going to be okay. We're going to increase security. Everybody's going to be okay. Now the family is actually rallying around to support those 5 young children. They will be having a memorial walk this weekend, and there is a GoFundMe account set up to help that family. Because, like I said, again, this Bel Air community, it is a tight-knit community. And for something so horrible and heinous to happen anywhere is awful, but this is something that you don't necessarily expect to hear about from Bel Air.
That's right. Well, so a very safe area, huh, Kelly? Very safe area, very family-oriented. Yeah. So this is just pretty stunning. Bel Air is not the place you would expect something like this to happen, huh?
No, definitely not at all. I think that's probably part of the reason why it's blown up so much on social media, as you were mentioning, that the fact that Sheriff Gaylor went to social media just to kind of ease people's fears. This is just, and like I said, the trail is a very, very popular trail that a lot of people walk on, families, children. So this is not a place that you would expect to see something like this occur.
Demolished whose house, AG?
Right, Kelly. And I understand that walk that you were mentioning that's going to happen this weekend is going to actually be held on the trail. Is that correct?
Yes, at 11 o'clock, 11:30 Saturday morning, they're all going to wear T-shirts. And again, they want to do this to honor Rachel's memory, to also raise money for the family. And like I said, it's just been really, really tough for that
Why would they demo the house? What's that about?
area, and obviously family and people who knew Rachel, because from the post on social media, it would indicate that she was very, very popular, well-loved, and well-liked.
Oh, that makes it even more devastating. Kelly, thank you for all of that. Joseph, in terms of what questions you might have tonight, I'm so curious, as someone who's done many, many homicide investigations, you've written books on how to do it. What questions are at the top of your mind this evening, please?
Well, the first one that jumps off the page is, were there any complaints about anybody on the trail, or was anybody harassed, or was anybody attacked or followed around, or anybody that looked odd or out of place? So that would be my first thing that I would be looking at. So, for instance, just from an investigative standpoint, when you have situations like this, you always go to what we refer to as a complaint report or an investigative report, and we would then go through all of those instances to see if there is something there that maybe gave a description, maybe that, what this person not only looked like, but if they drove a car and the like. So that's just something, I think that's just investigative 101 that you would find. And I believe that the police were probably on top of that right away. And I also like the fact that both the police chief and I think was the colonel there too, they came out and pretty much emphatically, saying that, try not to listen to certain people, because he was even saying that the investigators were saying that this person was not even at the crime scene. So we have to be really careful about that kind of material that gets released on there. And it could hurt your investigation in regards to the tip line, where you're getting just inundated with things. We've seen this now over and over again in the last couple of major investigations. The true crime community, it can do a lot of good, but there are some within it that can also bog down an investigation, and we saw that. So, the one thing I like to see, I'm not sure, I might have missed it, but maybe a Crime Stoppers reward or some other type of, investigative clues out there to get people to come forward with something. Has anybody, looked like there was injuries? Because, this woman seemed to be in pretty good shape. She's out jogging on a trail, so the likelihood is fighting back. Maybe she scratched the assailant, right? So we might have fingernails. There's a whole bunch of things that we don't know, but I think there are things that the investigators have and that we won't know until they, make an arrest. And I believe, listen, I have confidence that they are, because when you're seeing that 10 people are on this, you're seeing that the chief and everybody, they're using social media. They're actually going out there and engaging people. But I think that they are zoning in on a particular person by now.
I always say it on the show. Police are always further along than they let the public know, and for good reason. And I'm glad you mentioned that tonight, Joseph. We all hope that they are very close to solving this case and getting justice for Rachel Moren's family.
Again, this was aired August 15th, 2023. So this is about when the case first came about.
I want to say a big thank you to WMAR anchor Kelly Swoop for coming on the program tonight. Kelly, thank you so much, and we'll continue to stay in close touch with you and your colleagues at the station for any new developments. Take good care. And Detective Joseph Giacalone is going to stay with us. We have to hit a break, folks. Before we do that, we've got a preview for you of what is coming up next tonight here on Closing Arguments. On this hour of Closing Arguments, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students is preparing for trial. Brian Koberger is first expected at a hearing this week, and we have a preview.
If you just go to bed at night and somebody can come and get you, there's no way to be safe. There's no way to be safe to be able to prevent somebody from stalking. So that's not the answer. The answer is, eliminating these people and removing them from society.
A man married 6 times. 4 of his wives died under mysterious circumstances.
Eccentric widower Thomas Randolph.
Charged with the murders of his wife and the man he allegedly paid to kill her.
A 2017 conviction overturned.
The plan between Mr. Miller and Mr. Randolph was to kill Sharon.
Now he faces a jury once again.
The new Advil dual action.
Gabrzinski spoke to several different news outlets about it, claiming that Rachel Moren had severe head trauma and might have been hit with a rock or hit with a baseball bat. But this morning, our Julia Janae spoke with the Hartford County Chief Deputy. His name's William Davis, and he says the sheriff's office does not buy Mr. Gabrzinski's claims.
The individual that was on the news, and he's been on many news outlets, talking about what he saw at the crime scene. Our investigators have confirmed that he never saw the crime scene and he never saw the body of Rachel Morin. So anything you've heard from him.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so the guy that talked a little bit ago that said he saw the drain or something, that's not true? Wait a minute, what?
Talking about what he saw at the crime scene.
A guy with his daughter?
Investigators have confirmed that he never saw the crime scene and he never saw the body of Rachel Morin. So anything you've heard from him, you just got to discount everything that he said that's out there. Because as I've said before on other media outlets, that it's very important for an investigation like this that the only people that know what that crime scene looked like is the actual killer and our detectives. So that when we finally do narrow it down and catch a suspect, that we make sure we get the right person.
Huh?
That's right. You know, it makes you wonder, why do people have to do stuff like that? Does that bug you? It really bugs me. Let me bring in my guest, still with me, retired NYPD Sergeant Joseph Jackalone, and joining us from India.
Yeah, I know. I'm having issues to you guys. All you have to do is, all you have to do is back out of the stream, hit the X to close it out, and then click back on it. Hopefully YouTube fixes their shit, but I've been having issues with my chat freezing for about 2 or 3 weeks now. So all I can do is just suggest that you just back out, close it out, and then come back in, and that should fix it for the time being. I apologize. I don't know why YouTube, you think it would be smooth and flawless with the amount of money they make, you know?
Indianapolis, the co-host of the Murder Sheet.
What's up, Sarah? They're on this case too? What? I heard they went on a strike frenzy. I heard these two went on a strike frenzy against a bunch of creators that were using their videos.
Podcast, Anya Kane and Kevin Greenlee. Anya and Kevin, welcome to you both. We were just talking about this guy a couple of minutes ago. And Joseph, you know, when you hear about these people that do this, in your years of doing investigations,
Thank you, AG.
You've come across them. They say they saw something that they didn't see. They claim to be in a place where they never were. And then people like us who really want to know the true facts are wondering, why? Why do these people insert themselves? Through your experience, what have you found to be the case?
Well, when you're dealing with a high-profile case specifically, you have people that want that 15 minutes of fame, so to speak. So it's much different today than it was when I was doing this a long time ago, because now the internet and everything else can make somebody famous within the matter of minutes. And it's just something that happens many times in these high-profile cases. And sometimes you get people that will actually confess to the crime. I mean, just because once again they want to be famous in that respect. That's why when the colonel said about there are certain things that only the killer knows and that the police know, that's very important, because the day comes when there is an interrogation, they can ask specific questions to this individual and they'll know right away if this person was at the scene or he wasn't at the scene.
Mm-hmm. Hope he didn't make any TikToks that are going viral on this, especially after the sheriff's department saying he's not credible. Don't listen to it.
Wow.
So what I want to know, Anya and Kevin, is what you two want to know. You both are very well-versed in conversations happening in the true crime community, the cases that are making headlines. And this one is the one that seems to be grabbing the attention of people all over the world, just not in the United States. Let's talk about where the conversation is, what people want to know about, what they're saying. Ladies first, please, Anya. Let me go to you to start us off.
Absolutely. And thanks so much for having us on.
Sure.
I would say that one thing we really want to know, and one thing that we've seen that other observers of this case want to know, is this a stranger killing? Was this some predator lying in wait who took advantage of the fact that Rachel was alone? Or is this a situation where somebody who knew her may have wanted to do her harm? That to us is fundamentally one of those huge questions in the case. And I think it's just something that we're going to wait to see as it rolls out, what law enforcement is doing, and if any arrests are made quickly or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. According to the sheriff, Rachel Morin's boyfriend, his name is Richard Tobin, was the one who reported her missing, left a lot of people wondering if he had any involvement in her disappearance or her death. And he responded to the speculation with a comment on his Facebook page. I want to show that to you now, saying, quote, "I love Rachel. I would never do anything to her. Let her family and I grieve. Yes, I have a past, but I also have 15 months clean and have changed as a person. Please." Now, this morning, during her interview with the Hartford County Chief Deputy, our Julia Janae, asked if Rachel's boyfriend is being looked at as a suspect. Here's what the chief said.
I wouldn't say that it's anybody that really isn't a suspect at this time, but he has been very cooperative and he's willing to talk to us anytime we ask him to.
Okay, so that answer is about as clear as mud, right? Let me bring back in my guest. Kevin Greenlee, let me go to you on this one. He's not going so far as to say the guy's in the clear, but he's not implicating him either. What questions do you have, please, about the boyfriend? Because I understand when he's talking about his past, it's a past with an assaultive history. He's got a record that includes assaultive behavior. So, of course, that raises some eyebrows, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does certainly raise some eyebrows. But I remember I was...
All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this up there since they're talking about this dude. Aired August 15th.
Talking to an investigator once. He said, basically, the only way you can clear someone is by convicting someone else. And as far as we know, despite his criminal history, there's no specific reason to suspect he may have been involved in this awful murder. He mentioned he's been clean and sober for 15 months. I know he's been participating in a drug court. And those are programs that really keep a close eye on people. So you have a lot of eyes on him, making sure he stays on the straight and narrow.
Mm-hmm. Right. And if he is participating in that program, then he would be under the jurisdiction of the court.
Right.
Meaning that if there is a violation of probation, the judge could violate him, potentially send him back to prison, resentence him on the case. So that's a really good point, Kevin. Thank you for that. He's being watched closely. And they're not coming out and saying that he is under a cloud of suspicion. They're just kind of being vague. Joseph Jackalone, tell me what you think about the boyfriend. So he's got an assaultive past, but he is the one who did report Rachel Moren missing. Was the one who was initially concerned. It was that night when she didn't come home from her exercising on the trail. What do you think about this guy? What would you want to know about him, please?
All right, I'm going to skip this because they already talked about that. He's not a suspect.
Here's what we know so far, though. We know that she was a mother to 5 children. She's also a daughter and a beloved sister. And we're now learning that she was also a business owner. The New York Post is reporting that Rachel Moren had her own cleaning company. The Post speaking to one of Moren's clients about what she was like. The client telling them, quote, she was very warm and above all, she loved her children. She raised them very well. She had a flexible work schedule that allowed her to make sure her kids were always taken care of. We were like grandparents to the kids and we trusted her implicitly, end quote. The New York Post also reporting tonight that Rachel Moren kept a daily spray tan appointment and frequented multiple dating sites as well
Yikes.
before her gruesome death. So tragic, leaving those 5 children behind. Now they are without a mother. Their lives changed forever, and hopefully soon this mystery will be solved. I want to bring back in my guest still with me. Detective, retired NYPD sergeant, and the author of 2 books on homicides, Joseph Giacalone, is with us, and the co-host of the Murder Sheet podcast, Anya Kane, and Kevin Greenlee with us tonight as well. Anya and Kevin, you two know the Delphi case so well. You've come on Court TV Network many times, shared so much knowledge and great insight about it. And earlier today, when I was talking to my colleagues about this, we were preparing for the show tonight, I said, I keep thinking about the Delphi case. I know these facts are very different, but there's just something about this that's making me think Delphi. And I wanted to ask you, and Anya, I see you nodding, so let me go to you first, please. Did you get any feeling that this strikes you as somewhat similar to that too?
It's a great question. That's actually what drew our interest initially in this case. And to be very clear, these similarities are very likely just superficial, meaning that there's no underlying connection. It doesn't necessarily mean that the crime even took place in a similar way. But the fact that this took place in a rails to trail setting, where the Ma and Pa Trail is this popular place for people in the community to come jog, walk, and enjoy nature. The fact that it happened when this lady, Rachel Morin, is doing an activity that everyone should be able to do safely, going on an evening jog or walk. That just reminded us a bit of Delphi, where, of course, you have 2 teenage girls in broad daylight going on another rails to trail, basically setting with the Monon High Bridge, the Monon Trails in that case in Indiana. And it just struck us as that is something that's terrifying to a community.
Because it was a trail. Other than that, this is a mom with 5 children. It's not a child. Like, there's so many different... just because it's a trail? I don't know.
As one of the guests said earlier, I mean, this is something that everyone wants to be able to enjoy, these park spaces, these green spaces. And when some tragedy like this happens, it's just terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. As she was saying, the Bel Air area is an area known to be very safe. It's just stunning to everyone that something like this would happen. Very much like the situation in Delphi. It is when, we're talking about, a daylight hike, and in the Delphi case, we have 2 people together, Joseph Giacalone, let me go to you on this. When we think of safety and what we should do, you always hear, go in pairs, go with someone else. Well, in that case, we had 2 people killed, albeit children, but still 2 people killed. Here, 1 person killed. What should...
I love the Murder Sheet podcast, but the hair is just making me think he's going to go... After the TV spot, he's going to go jam to some Beethoven on the piano or something after. I don't know. I just see it.
What should we take away in terms of what to know about safety? And if one does want to go for a hike outdoors, what kind of precautions could they take, please, Joe?
You know what I mean? Some Beethoven.
Well, my best advice is to be aware of your surroundings, and probably the most
like getting so into it, the dude kicks the fucking stool out of the way while he's standing up playing. You know what I mean?
Distracting thing that we have with us today is your cell phone, or playing your music, having your AirPods in, or your whatever type of device you're listening in on as you're running or walking. You really can't hear what's going on if somebody comes up from behind you and what have you. So that's just something. And yes, going with pairs is always, or even, a larger group is always safer. Nothing's foolproof, unfortunately. And we've seen a number of these incidents across the country where women have been attacked, on these, on trails, right? So like we had the Karina Vetrano in New York City and Queens. You had Miss Fletcher in, I think it was Memphis, Tennessee, Eliza Fletcher. So you had some other, terrible instances on these trails because people go there to, to enjoy themselves and kind of relax, and they kind of let their guard down, I think, sometimes. And unfortunately, we can't afford to do that in this day and age, that you just can't go and enjoy yourself, and it's a shame.
Really appreciate what you said, about having the headphones in, the AirPods in, whatever you use. It is very hard to hear when you do have them in. And so you wonder if that's something we can eliminate as a possible distraction and to help us be a little more safe when we're out and about. Kevin Greenlee, let me go to you, please, on a point that's really disturbing. We know that there's a GoFundMe for those 5 children who are left behind without their mom.
Aw.
And it's Rachel Morin's sister who established.
Where's the dad or dads? Where's the dad or dads at? What's up with that? You hear about the boyfriend, but you don't hear about a dad or dads. What's up?
She said something to the effect that her sister didn't go willingly, indicating to us that she may have fought for her life. She very well may have put up a tremendous fight. Joseph made the point earlier that somebody could be badly injured because she looks like she was in great shape. Are you hearing anything?
Wow, so he probably hid behind a tree or hid in some kind of foliage and then probably came up from behind. And that's when she was, man. If anybody wants to do me a favor, use Google Earth. And do me a favor. Like, if you guys can pinpoint where out on the trail, if you can put a mark there, like the trail that would have been walked, if you can do that and send it to me, that'd be awesome. I'll do it in the meantime. We got a lot of other shows coming up. Dylan Rounds we're going to be doing. I think Friday morning, we're going to be covering Dylan Rounds' case. Friday, tomorrow, we'll be talking... Let me see here. Probably Idaho 4. Excuse me. Let's see, where's my list here? And we'll be doing Dylan Rounds, I think Friday, tomorrow morning. Yeah, we are talking Idaho 4. We're going to be having our part 2 with Rosie. We had our part 1 a couple days ago. We're going to be doing part 2 with that and getting into more of the incel theory conversation in regards to Idaho 4. So we'll be doing that tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, Idaho 4, Friday morning, Dylan Rounds, Friday night, Idaho 4. It was in the last video. Oh, sorry. I didn't see it. I was just listening while I was doing all the show shit. Okay. I'll check out the last video and see. Yeah, we'll be having Dylan Rounds on Friday, the case conversation. So, if you have anything on Dylan Rounds or if it is a case that you've covered, go ahead and send some information as well. We'll be talking that case too.
In the folks that are talking in the true crime community about this, your listeners on the podcast, anything that might indicate that this was an attack, perhaps by, someone, a stranger, someone not known to her that might have caught her off guard.
Really, we don't know. It's just a matter of speculation. I think the fact of the matter is even the police at this time aren't aware of whether it's a stranger situation or if it was targeted. If it was a random situation, you want to look at naturally at, have there been other incidents like this on the park? Have there been attacks?
If there was and they didn't get a trail cam, shame on you. If there was and you didn't get trail cam, I mean, to the fact you don't even have trail cams, I don't understand it. But if you did have prior, that I'd like to look up. If anybody knows the background of this trail, who knows? Maybe was there assaults there that took place previously? I mean, What the hell? No trail cameras in 2024, 2023? Come on.
Acts or have
Come
women
on.
felt harassed. And if you wanted to try to figure out if this was somehow targeted towards this woman, you'd have to start looking at her own life. Is there anybody in her life who has some sort of a grudge?
Okay, yeah, that's Detective Class 101. We're going to switch to something else. All right. So this is from let me see here. Here's this link. Oh, it got cut off. If you're in the everyone chat, I'll drop it in the everyone chat for you guys. If you'd like to have this link, otherwise I'll try and cut off the beginning of it. Make sure you type in HTTPS. Make sure it's secured. And it still did it put the whole thing in there? It still didn't. Why does all right. I don't know what else to do. That's the best I can do. It still won't fit. I can't take anything else out of it. Okay, no. 6 months after Rachel Morin's murder, grief, a demolished home, little progress. This is from a week ago. 2 weeks ago. A week ago. Patty Morin holds a photo of her daughter, Rachel, in where? Timonium, Maryland, on Friday, February 2nd. It's been 6 months since her body was found on the hiking trail in Hartford County. That's so sad. The rental house where the 37-year-old mother of 5 had made her home has been demolished. The 3 fathers of her children formed a bond, ensuring the children can still spend time together, although 2 daughters now live more than an hour away. Aw, that's the sad part, the children getting separated. That's sad. That's the sad part there. Children getting separated. The seasons have changed. The leaves have fallen and new buds are forming in the woods where Morin took her last breath, but her family's grief is just as keen. It still feels very unreal. It still feels like it was yesterday, said her mother, Patty, as she cried at a conference table in her lawyer's office on Friday. I don't know if I can live with this pain the rest of my life. It's the most devastating thing a person can experience. Oh. We'll leave it on that picture for a second there. Maryland hoodie. Let's see. Excuse me. By now, the facts of Rachel Morin's murder are familiar not only to residents of Hartford County and surrounding areas, but to the audiences of national cable news shows and tabloids that dissected the case. Morin went out for a run on the Maryland and Pennsylvania Heritage Trail around 6 p.m. on August 5th. Her boyfriend, Richard Tobin, reported her missing later that evening. The following afternoon, volunteers combing the woods for clues found her body. Although family members have posted videos and photos of a large tunnel where they say Morin's body was found, the sheriff's office has not confirmed the location of her body or publicly described the injuries she sustained. About 2 weeks after Morin's body was found, The sheriff office announced a major break in the case. DNA found on Morin's body matched the DNA from a suspect in a March home invasion in Los Angeles. Law enforcement did not know the suspect's name, but they had a home security video of him, and from that determined that he was a Hispanic man in his 20s, about 5'9" and weighing 160. Investigators have worked feverishly to identify the man, but have yet to do so. Our investigators take the case very personal and continue to work on investigative leads, says Goller, emphasizing that the case has not gone cold. It seems like it, though, doesn't it, when we're hearing him talk about it? Our investigators take this case seriously and very personal. There are still leads coming in, but not at the pace they were coming in before, which is interesting because I thought we just heard from the sheriff in one of the beginning videos that there was no more tips. Maybe I'm confused. Sheriff's deputies traveled to Los Angeles, Scholar said, and have interviewed the residents of the home and everyone who was present during the home invasion. The suspect in the home invasion assaulted a young girl and left behind a hat and a bottle from which investigators were able to obtain a DNA specimen, he said. Goller said it was unclear if the person who killed Morin attacked her at random or had been stalking her without her noticing. However, he said that from studying Morin's cell phone and talking to friends and family and interviewing staff at places she frequented, such as the gym and tanning salon, it was clear that Morin did not know her attacker. It could be as easy as they passed in a grocery store and he developed a fascination with her, if indeed it was a targeted attack, Goller said. Investigators have traveled to Chicago to track down a lead and passed out flyers in English and Spanish in both Bel Air and Los Angeles. It's unclear whether the suspect lives in Bel Air, Los Angeles, or another location. The Rice, Murtha, and Soros law firm, which represents Patty Morin and her children, announced Monday that the reward for information leading to an arrest has climbed to $35,000 after husband and wife podcasting team donated $5,000 to the fund. Oh, that's awesome. That was probably the murder sheet. That's sweet of them. 50,000. That's awesome of them. I'm sure they're rolling in it. Family members and those close to Morin say they are frustrated by the pace of the investigation in a town so small and a community so close-knit. Someone has to know something, said Patty. She noted that she and her other children had been out of town at a family funeral, and they all now regret not more strongly encouraging Rachel to join them. Rachel, who owned a cleaning business, had stayed behind to work because she was short on funds. Aw. Those left behind are trying to figure out how to go on without Rachel. Her oldest daughter, Faye McMahon, 18, declined to be interviewed. Thank you, AG. We do have an interview coming up. There's something else I'm going to share with you guys before we get to that, though. Declined to be interviewed, but her father said it's been a painful 6 months. She's struggling with figure out how to be an adult without her mother, said her father, Matt. The person she most wants to talk with is Rachel. Faye has always been like a second mother to her 4 younger siblings and has worked hard to stay in touch with them, McMahon said. The 13 and 12-year-old now live with their father on the eastern side of Chesapeake Bay Bridge, and the 2 youngest children live in Hartford County with their father, John, who said he had primary custody of them for several years. Oh. So they just visited. Okay. We'll leave that there. Those are nice pictures. So that's at the lawyer's office. It says Alderson said his 10-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter see a grief counselor weekly and often have sudden mood swings as they try to process their mother's killing. They'll be fine, and then all of a sudden they'll be angry. They'll break down and cry. He said, I tried to sit down and talk with them, and I cry too. Alderson said his youngest child marked a painful milestone this winter, her first birthday without her mother. He threw a party at an ice rink for her 8th birthday so she would not fixate on her mother's absence. Rachel always came to their parties, he said. Sorry, she's going to be fixated on her mother's absence, Mr. Dude. How old are these people? The three fathers have joined forces to keep the kids connected. I mean, I even knew when I was early 20s, planning holiday celebrations and long weekends for them to be together. To further complicate their grief, the home that Morin had rented for several years on Old Emorton Road in Bel Air was demolished in the fall. Many properties along that stretch are being redeveloped. Oh, so it was already going to be redoing the neighborhood. It's been tough for all of them, said McMahon. The memories are still there, but the tangible place where the memories happened are gone. That's so sad. They can't even. Aw. I mean, the crime didn't happen at the house, and that's sad. The kids can't even. They can't even go back and remember, like, the good times. Right? And they can't even go back and see the house and and be reminded of the good times that they had for several years at the house. Maybe in the front yard, the backyard, the sidewalk, the light pole that was in front of the, like. Well, yeah. We're going to be getting into that as well when we're doing our Idaho 4 show, talking about Don Daniels, because like we've been saying with the DNA dirty glove and the contamination, and the whole time Bill Thompson's been saying from the very beginning. Even in the PCAs, they've stated, even in the PCAs, whether it's the Washington or the Idaho, that they weren't planning. We're only using the tip. We're not going to use, we're not using the process. We're using the tip. It's been that kind of conversation since the beginning. They've even said it in the PCAs. So. Yeah, they're not gonna. That's why when early November last year, when we watched that last court hearing, that's why I said then that they're gonna get to a part in February or March where the court is gonna be like, okay, can we just move on? Because they're not gonna use it anyway. They've been telling us this whole time. They've been using examples in other court hearings that other hasn't used. It's not. It's okay. No. You know what I mean? And when we have the saying, if you don't have the DNA on the PCA, then you don't have the damn PCA. So if you don't have the DNA, then what is the damn PCA? I'm gonna try my hardest to be on tonight. I do have a lot of stuff I do need to do. So if I do get on, it might just be for a short show. Because I got to go practice my drone some more. Then my goal is to totally finish everything here. I have a lot more work to do, setting everything back up and getting everything organized again. So I'm gonna end up going to fly my drone for a little bit, for like an hour and a half. Go fly my drone, get some more practice. It's a beautiful day out. If I am back on tonight, I'll show you guys some footage. And then after that, I'm gonna be pushing hard to because I got to get all this shit done. Period. No more. There's no breaks. Get it all done and knocked out of the way. So I'm gonna try my hardest to get on tonight. And if I do, it might end up being a shorter show if I can't get it all done in time. But I think I'll be able to. I think I could knock it out pretty quick. It just depends on the drone and traffic and all that other stuff. But I think I can, unless I run into any issues with the setup. Because the last time, before this time, I had to break it down. This is still temporary. I got to finish that. But the last time I changed the setup, it literally took me like 4.5 hours just to get it all right. I mean, I wish I knew better with the lighting. I wish I knew how to like make me, excuse me, have light, but not like it's really bright already. But then if I darken it up, then it doesn't show, then I don't show up as much. So I'm just having an issue with like how to set the lights, you know? Because like right now it's just way too damn bright. But if I don't have it this bright, then the image gets real grainy, like it's too dark. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to share this. This is a Facebook group for the case, and we'll be having another show on this. If not, probably maybe Saturday. If not Saturday, we'll have a show next week on this case again. And again, we'll be talking Dylan Round's case on Friday morning. Tomorrow morning, True Crime Overtime with Rosie joining us for part 2 of the Idaho Incel theory conversation. Now, this is, thank you, AG, for this. This is an interview with the 18-year-old daughter. And so here's the link to this. And then we'll watch this real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and end the show and try and get all this stuff knocked out. Try and be back for you guys tonight.
About where we are right now.
This is where my mom's house used to be.
Oh my gosh, the rain. I apologize about that. I don't know why you wouldn't just have the interview somewhere else. So there's the link for that. Let me move this real quick. Sorry about the rain. That shit's loud.
Can you tell us a little bit about where we are right now?
This is where my mom's house used to be. That's now gone. I just think about going upstairs in my mom's room and laying down with her.
How old are you then? You go up and lay down with her?
All the time. I always wanted to.
That's a sweet memory.
Oh, the rain.
I feel like the person who did this took a lot of experiences away from us. We talked about doing a lot of things together, and she's never going to be able to be at my wedding. I'm never going to be able to go to hers. Like, she's never going to be able to meet my kids. And I just feel like we had a lot of plans that we just never get to do anymore because he just took them away one day. And there's just a lot of things that we talked about that we should have been able to do together that is just gone. And
wow. Wow. Right, Pixie Dot? You know, because they probably sat there and had conversations about being at each other's wedding and wow. That's so sad. Right? Wow. That's so sad. Yeah, we'll talk some more about it in the future here. Thank you all for hanging out today. I appreciate you. It's good to be back on in the morning. It's good to be ready to go hit the road and all these other things. So I definitely got to make sure I get practice time in for the drum when I'm able to, because weather is a mother right now. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. Fingers crossed. And I'll either see you tonight or I will be back on in the morning. Either way, we're going to be talking to Idaho 4 in either show. We'll be back. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And stay safe out there. Oh, my Lord. It's crazy. Crazy world.